Chapter 193, Marketing Strategy, Buy a House to Save for Wife. Annie, you don't have to worry. Experts in cosmetics abroad said my face will be fine. It will heal in a short time. Lin Pingping didn't want to worry the old Mrs. Mo, whatever her age. Upon hearing this, Mrs. Mo at last sighed relief. That's good, that's good. After a pause, she continued, Ping, I hope you won't hesitate to tell your auntie anything you find difficult. Lin Pingping nodded. I know, auntie. Mrs. Mo then asked, by the way, is Hongbin treating you well? Do your in-laws give you a hard time? When Pingping saw her auntie worrying about her, she felt the urge to cry, but she held it in. Yes, they are treating me well. Especially Hongbin. Im's such a beautiful woman he married, he wouldn't dare to treat me badly. She and Hongbin were in a love marriage. At that time, Hongbin's family had nothing. His parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters all lived in a tiny 30-square-meter house provided by his father's office. When she told Mrs. Mo about this, she was strongly opposed. But in the end, she couldn't withstand Lin Pingping's determination. At their wedding, Mrs. Mo gave them 100,000 yuan in dowry. Lin Pingping used this money to buy a bigger house, help Hongbin's brothers and sisters to go to school, and used her connections to help Hongbin climb the ladder at work. This is where Hongbin's success today comes from. But no one in his family remembers her favor. She loved Hongbin wholeheartedly, but in the eyes of his family, that was Hongbin's talent and even something to be flaunted before others. Look at how capable our son is, even the daughter of a rich family insists on marrying him. No one knew of her deep affection for Hongbin hidden behind his talent. Because of her reverse dowry, to Hongbin, she had no status in his family and regardless of her contributions, they thought it was only to be expected. Unfortunately, Lin Pingping had to silently bear the bitterness, unable to voice it out. Because she chose this path, she had no reason to go to anyone and complain. She could only bear it, regardless of how Hongbin and his family treated her, she could only bear it. She has to cling to the last bit of her dignity. Hearing her talk like this, Mrs. Mo was relieved. Right, marrying you, such a good girl, the Hong family should count their blessings. Pingping, if you ever suffer any injustice, you mustn't keep it to yourself. Since your parents passed away early, your uncle and I are your surrogate parents. Speak up and we will help you stand up for yourself. She knew that Pingping's in-laws were something else. This is why she opposed the marriage back then. Lin Pingping nodded. Don't worry, auntie. Mrs. Mo continued, let's not just chat, come eat breakfast. Pingping, listen, I recently met a young gifted doctor named Ni Yang. Not only is her cooking delicious, but her medical skill is also excellent. She is the one who cured Xiaodai. Lin Pingping exclaimed surprisingly, really? As she opened the insulated box, Mrs. Mo replied, of course. Would I lie to you? As soon as the lid of the insulated box was lifted, an overwhelming aroma filled the air. Looking at the food inside, Lin Pingping said, Auntie, have your teeth been feeling better lately, and are your eyes feeling better as well? You hardly have dizzy spells, and you seem to be in a better spirit, isn't it? Mrs. Mo was surprised. Yes. How did you know? Lin Pingping smiled. I could tell by looking at the food. The food? Mrs. Mo was puzzled, then she said, right. Ni Yang does cook delicious meal. Lin Pingping continued, Auntie, you might not know, but the food is not only delicious, there's a lot of thought behind it. Mrs. Mo asked in confusion, what do you mean? Lin Pingping picked up her chopsticks and pointed at one of the dishes. Look at this. It has mushrooms and shrimp. Mushrooms are polysaccharides that can prevent dental plaque, and shrimp are rich in calcium and can strengthen teeth. And look at this chili fried lettuce. Western medical research has found that lettuce is beneficial to the 5 internal organs, tonifies the muscles and bones, promotes heat, opens up the meridians, removes oral odor, and improves eyesight. And check out this albizia porridge. Albizia has the effect of relieving irritability, alleviating depression, calming restlessness, regulating mood, and promoting mental clarity. As a Western medicine practitioner herself, Lin Pingping could tell at a glance what benefits certain foods provided. From this, she could tell that the chef's thoughts were meticulous. The meal she prepared was suitable for seniors, and she must have done some research beforehand. Upon hearing this, Mrs. Mo was stunned. Does the food really have all those benefits? Yes. Lin Pingping nodded. Do you think I've been practicing medicine all these years for nothing? Mrs. Mo's eyes were filled with surprise. No wonder she has been feeling healthier lately. The food must have been well combined. And Yang really put a lot of effort into it. The most touching point to Mrs. Mo was that Yang had never tried to earn credit for this in front of her. If Lin Pingping hadn't mentioned that, she wouldn't have known that there was such insight hidden in ordinary food. Yang is truly a blessing to their family. Thinking of this, Mrs. Mo couldn't help but smile again. Lin Pingping continued, By the way, Auntie, I heard that something happened to Xianxia. Is she doing better now? Chapter 194. How to be an onlooker. Bubbledale hearing this question, the smile on old Madame Mo's face gradually faded. Not yet. The doctor didn't rule out the possibility that she might fall into a vegetative state. She is currently still under observation. A vegetative state? Lin Pingping was quite frightened. How could this happen? Li Xianxian is only 20 years old this year. If she truly ends up in a vegetative state, how will her future days go by? Old Madame Mo sighed. Xianxian has always been quite an obstinate child. This situation wouldn't have occurred otherwise. Lin Pingping reached out and held old Madame Mo's hand. Auntie, don't worry. Xianxian is a good girl. She will definitely be okay. I hope so. Old Madame Mo sighed softly. Come, let's not talk about this anymore. Let's eat. Lin Pingping nodded and served old Madame Mo a bowl of porridge before serving herself. Having received excellent etiquette training, Lin Pingping didn't make any noise while eating. However, right as the porridge went down her throat, she couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. My goodness! The taste was simply amazing. Lin Pingping had never known that a simple bowl of porridge could taste so delicious. She immediately reached out and grabbed some lettuce heart. The lettuce heart was cooked to perfection. It was crisp, refreshing, with a tinge of spiciness that winded around her tongue and teeth. The aftertaste was endless, making one want to take a second bite after the first. Upon seeing Lin Pingping's reaction, old Madame Mo smiled and asked, How was it? The taste was good, wasn't it? Lin Pingping quickly nodded. Good? It's more than good. It's absolutely delicious. Lin Ping had assumed with such nutritious food, the taste would be minimal. To her surprise, the taste was incredible. The most humble ingredients had been used to create extraordinarily impressive flavors. It was obvious that the cook had an ingeniously versatile heart. If it's delicious, then eat more. Don't go trying to be like those other girls, starving themselves for the sake of looking good. Old Madame Mo added more porridge into Pingping's bowl. The aunt and niece enjoyed their meal. Grandma Auntie. Mo Baichuan entered the room and greeted. Baichuan, you look increasingly energetic, Lin Pingping said with a laugh. How about it? Have you found a girlfriend yet? I'm not in a hurry. Mo Baichuan sat on the sofa opposite them. Lin Pingping continued, You're not getting any younger. Time to get serious. At this point, Mo Qishan had descended from upstairs. Mo Baichuan immediately stated, These things should be arranged by the elders first. Mo Qishan had just been dumped by Zhao Jingrong, and people were still gossiping about it. Mo Baichuan was purposely stirring the pot. Old Madame Mo knew that the relationship between this nephew and uncle had always been tense. Mo Baichuan was a remarkably outstanding person, already a big leader at the age of 26. As for Mo Qishan, he was already 27 and yet he remains unaccomplished and idle, naturally generating friction. One being her son and the other her grandson, with none of them being in the wrong, old Madame Mo found it difficult to mediate the situation, so she could only pamper them and find ways to mediate. Lin Pingping could also sense the underlying tension between them and tried to shift the focus. Your sixth uncle is your sixth uncle, and you are you. We are discussing something with your grandma right now. Without showing any anger or embarrassment, Mo Qishan walked over and said nonchalantly, You, my impressive nephew, need not worry about your sixth auntie's affairs. Somehow, Mo Baichuan found the word impressive to be a bit grating. Was it just his imagination? As an underachiever, Mo Qixin had no right to mock others. If it weren't for his seniority, Mo Baichuan would never tolerate sharing a room with such a person. In his workplace, someone like Mo Qixin wouldn't even qualify to serve him tea or water. After saying this, Mo Qixin greeted Lin Pingping and old Madam Mo. My dear, I have some business to attend to, so I won't entertain you for now. Remember to stay for dinner tonight. Lin Pingping cheerfully replied, You go handle your business, don't worry about me. Busy doing what? A look of derision flashed in Mo Baichuan's eyes. Besides chasing women and fooling around, what serious business could Mo Qixin have? Every time he thought about Mo Qixin going out to chase after Ni Yang, a surge of nameless anger rose within Mo Baichuan. Such an adult man being completely taken in by that little girl, Ni Yang. No wonder he was still a good-for-nothing at 27. How to remain indifferent. Bubble tea _2. Indeed, him being labeled a waste by the outside world wasn't without reason. The conflict between uncle and nephew subtly spread across the room, with an oppressive atmosphere taking over. Old Lady Mo shifted the conversation smilingly. Baichuan, Xianxia is still hospitalized, have you visited her? Upon hearing this, Mo Baichuan seemed to have been reminded of something, to which he replied, Grandma, didn't you mention last time that you wanted Ni Yang to look into her condition? Old Lady Mo sighed. Indeed, she went. But Yang says she specializes in difficult and complicated diseases and she doesn't know what to do when it comes to physical injuries. Mo Baichuan slightly furrowed his brows. According to his current investigation, Ni Yang's medical skills were indeed good. She cured Yang Gobeo's epilepsy and even cured Mo Hudi's stubborn illness, which had earned Dr. Ace's admiration. How could such a person be helpless against a minor injury? Could it be that she just didn't want to treat Li Xianxian? Then why wouldn't she want to treat Li Xianxian? Everyone says that doctors must show benevolence. Where was Ni Yang's benevolence? Could it be just because Li Xianxian was an orphan, lacking the financial and influential backing provided by the Mo family, that she didn't want to cure her? Or was it because Ni Yang didn't want to save Li Xianxian because of him? Mo Baichuan narrowed his eyes as he pondered, increasingly feeling that this was the case. After all, old Lady Mo saw Li Xianxian as her future granddaughter-in-law, and Ni Yang had her own ulterior motives towards him. In this case, Li Xianxian was his main rival in love in the eyes of Ni Yang. This explanation made sense. After all, who would save their own love rival? Right, it must be this way. Mo Baichuan had always been meticulous in his thought processes, his deductive abilities far surpassing that of average persons, and the conclusions that he inferred were usually not far from the truth. Ni Yang was truly malicious, choosing to stand by and watch Li Xianxian's demise just for the sake of having him to herself. What right did she even have to be a doctor? The expression on Mo Baichuan's face grew increasingly dark. Seeing him like this, old Lady Mo asked in concern, Chuan, what are you thinking? Only then did Mo Baichuan snap back to reality. Nothing, I'll pay a visit to Li Xianxian. Old Lady Mo laughed. This child, why are you calling her by her full name? I'm leaving. Mo Baichuan picked up his suit on the sofa and strode towards the door. Old Lady Mo stood up and called after him. Chuan, could you also check with Dr. Wang about Xianxian's current condition on your way? Without turning his head, Mo Baichuan replied, Got it. Old Lady Mo returned to the sofa and let out a slight sigh. Lin Pingping remarked, It seems like it's possible for Baichuan and Xianxia to be together. Old Lady Mo chuckled and said, Who knows? This boy is always up to something. Furthermore, Xianxia currently is. The rest of her words went unsaid. Auntie, don't worry, Xianxia will definitely be fine. And by the way, there's a nice girl in our office. I am thinking about introducing her to the youngest one. What do you think? Lin Pingping interjected. At this, old Lady Mo's spirits lifted. Really? Lin Pingping nodded. Old Lady Mo asked excitedly, What does the girl look like? What's her character? Is she good-natured? The most important factors for her now were the girl's character and appearance. Family background was not that important. Lin Pingping smiled and said, her character and appearance are quite good. She's from a scholarly family. Her maternal grandfather was once a local scholar. Old Lady Mo nodded her approval. Good, good. Scholarly families are great. I love those who can reason. In Old Lady Mo's heart, her favorite candidate was Ni Yang. However, Ni Yang was clearly not an ordinary person, and Old Lady Mo worried that Ni Yang might not be interested in Immochition. So she had never mentioned this matter. Now that Lin Pingping had a suitable person on her side, it was not a bad idea to introduce her to Immochition. After all, love at first sight might happen. Things related to fate are unpredictable. Lin Pingping continued, let's settle with this then. I will talk to the girl once I am back, and later I will call you. Alright, thanks for your help, Old Lady Mo said, and then asked, by the way, Pingping, what's the name of the girl you mentioned earlier? How old is she? Lin Pingping laughed and said, look at me, I was so excited that I forgot to tell you the important details. The girl's name is Huang Ran. She is 22 years old and a college graduate. Though only holding a college diploma, she still held a better status than Immochition. Immochition hadn't even completed high school. He simply had no right to be picky. Old Lady Mo nodded her head. That's perfectly fine then. Let's go with this. How to stand by and do nothing. Bubble tea under Sir 3. Grandma, aunt, are you going to find an aunt for uncle? Mo Hudi suddenly appeared. Her bright eyes stared at Mrs. Mo and Lin Pingping. These days, Mo Hudi's condition bettered each day. She who originally weighed only 30 kilograms, now weighed 45 kilograms. She used to walk slowly, but now she can run. Lin Pingping gave Mo Hudi's head a gentle pat. Yes, we are looking for an aunt for your uncle. Mo Hudi tilted her head and thought for a moment. I think Sister Ni Yang is very good. Old Lady Mo laughed gently. As if suddenly remembering something, Lin Pingping took out a long box from her bag. Oh, Hudi, Aunt Pingping has prepared a gift for you. Open it and see. Perhaps because Mo Hudi had a similar experience to hers, she couldn't help but feel pained when she looked at Mo Hudi. Mo Hudi couldn't wait to open the box and exclaimed joyfully, wow! A Picasso pen. Thank you, Aunt Pingping. Over the years, although Mo Hudi had always been sick and never went to school, she was exceptionally bright. Under the guidance of home tutors, she had mastered subjects beyond high school, showing particular talent in literature. She enjoyed practicing handwriting and writing in her spare time, which was her only hobby over the years. A good pen was a more precious gift for her than anything else. Lin Pingping smiled and said, Pin, glad you like it, Hudi. Mo Baichuan made a trip to the hospital. Li Xianxian's condition wasn't looking well. She lay on the bed, looking like a lifeless corpse with a horrifyingly pale face. Mo Baichuan couldn't understand how Ni Yang, being a doctor herself, could idly stand by witnessing Li Xianxian in such a state. Did she not have even a shred of sympathy left in her? To win his favor, Ni Yang really was resorting to any means. And that Immochition was an idiot too. He had lost sense of right and wrong. How could he not see through Ni Yang's poor acting? He was an embarrassment, and if the century-old foundation of the Mo family were to fall into his hands, then the demise of the Mo family was not far off. Mo Baichuan was deeply frustrated. Today was Ni Yang's second day of business, and it was still booming, but the sour plum soup did not sell as well as she had imagined. She prepared over 2,000 servings of sour plum soup, and by noon, only 500 cups had been sold. Just so you know, over 1,500 servings of pickled fish noodles were sold out. If the sales of sour plum soup don't pick up, she would make less money each day. This couldn't go on. Ni Yang was taking orders and counting money while thinking about her situation when she went into the kitchen to serve noodles. She overheard the following conversation in the bustling dining hall. Mommy, I want to drink the sour plum soup. The young mother whispered quietly, Sweetie, sour plum soup is for heat relief and can only be drunk in summer. Drinking it in winter is not good for the stomach. No, I want to drink it. You'll catch a cold and need an injection. Are you scared of injections? The child immediately stopped asking for sour plum soup. Mommy, I'll be a good boy and eat my noodles. I don't want an injection. After hearing this, Yang knew what to do. She smiled faintly, striding swiftly to the back. By 7:30 in the evening, Yang promptly finished business as usual. The noodles were all sold out, while quite a few sour plum soups were left. Yang took 2 jars and filled them with the sour plum soup, giving one to Zhou Qingshang and one to Wang Jinfeng. Auntie Zhou, Aunt Jinfeng, the sour plum soup is nothing special. Take it home and let the kids have a taste. Zhou Qingshang and Wang Jinfeng declined it again and again, but they couldn't resist Yang's enthusiasm. Yang was a good boss and knew how to win people's hearts. She knew what to do to ensure her employees worked faithfully. Giving away the sour plum soup would not only flatter them but also prevent wastage. Why not do something that is of mutual benefit? After work, Yang didn't immediately head home. Instead, she went to buy some fish and noodles. The noodle seller and Yang had become good friends. Yang, why did you come personally again? Didn't I tell you I would have Uncle deliver the noodles to you every morning? Yang was pretty and had a sweet mouth. She knew that doing business wasn't easy, so when she bought noodles, she never bargained. The noodle-selling couple liked her very much. How to stand by and do nothing. Bubble tea _. Yang said with a smile, I just came over intending to buy some other things. Auntie, do you have cassava flour here? Yes, we do. I'll get it for you right away. The noodle shop owner's wife turned around to fetch the cassava flour for Yang. Yang, how much do you want? Yang thought for a moment. Give me 2 caddies for now. All right. The shop's owner's wife weighed a full 2 caddies of cassava flour and handed it to Yang. Auntie, how much is it? The owner's wife said with a smile, Never mind, it's just a bit of cassava flour. Yang ordered over 60 yuan worth of noodles from her every day, so a bit of cassava flour really wasn't much. Since Yang was so generous with them, they couldn't be stingy either. It's a two-way street after all. Thank you then, Auntie. Yang took the cassava flour and continued, By the way, how much is this cassava flour per caddy? I might order in large quantities in the future. The owner's wife lowered her voice. I sell it to others at 1 cent per caddy, but I'll give it to you for 8 cents. Yang thanked her with a smile. After buying everything, Yang hopped on her bike to ride home. She had to pass Li Dongliang's shop on the way back. However, when that familiar figure flashed past on the road, Li Wei, who was engrossed in cementing his English knowledge, suddenly brightened up. Was that Yang? When he realized it was Yang, Li Wei quickly went after her. Unfortunately, Yang was too fast, and Li Wei couldn't catch up with her. With no other choice, Li Wei returned to his notes, feeling dejected. He had originally planned to ask Yang where she had disappeared to these past few days. Xiaowei, what's wrong? Qian Jinfeng came out of the shop, looking puzzled at her precious son. Li Wei put on a smile. Nothing, I just thought I saw Yang. Yang? Qian Jinfeng frowned slightly. Is she back selling at the stall? Didn't she rent her stall to someone else? I don't know. After leaving this remark, Li Wei walked into the building looking glum. Qian Jinfeng was left standing there with mixed feelings. Why has Yang come back? Where is she selling now? Is her business good? Is she back to seduce her precious son? She can't allow her son to get entangled with the likes of her, so Qian Jinfeng ran after Li Wei, speaking gravely, Xiaowei, you're a senior high school student now, and next year you're going to take the college entrance exam. You absolutely can't let yourself get distracted at a time like this. Yang might have a pretty face, but can a face provide meals? From what I can see, I doubt she even finished primary school. How could she possibly be good enough for you? You're going to be a university student. I got it. Li Wei responded casually, then with a thud, closed the door behind him. Qian Jinfeng didn't give up and continued to ramble outside the door. Inside, Li Wei directly tore off 2 small pieces of paper and stuffed them into his ears. After Yang got home, she began preparing to make a new beverage. She had already thought about it during the day. Given that sour plum soup, a cold drink, wasn't suitable for winter, she could create a hot drink. A steaming cup of hot milk tea in winter not only warms the body, but the stomach as well. Doesn't that sound wonderful? Let's do it then. Yang brought out the cassava flour she had bought, mixed it with brown sugar and water to make into small balls, boiled them until they were cooked, and voila, she had black tapioca pearls. Once the pearls were ready, Yang opened a tin of tea leaves, scooped out a small handful and placed them in a pot, added water, and boiled it until the tea was the right color, followed by adding milk and simmering it on low heat. At this point, the aroma of the milk and tea fusion began to permeate the air. The scent was rich and intoxicating. Yang took 3 cups, placed a small spoonful of the pearls inside each, followed by the freshly brewed milk tea. After all of this, Yang brought the milk tea to the living room. When Yang came over, Chengue knew that what Yang was carrying was probably something new and exciting. Yang, Chengue asked with a smile, "Did you come up with another new drink?" Yang nodded, placing the brewed milk tea on the table. This is the milk tea I just brewed, try it. Milk tea. Chengue perked up at this. I had this when I was on a business trip in Inner Mongolia. Yang said with a smile, then try it and see if mine is as good as the one you had in Inner Mongolia. How to stand by and watch. Bubble tea understood. Chengue stirred with his spoon, surprised when he saw the black granules inside. Yang, what's this black thing? He hadn't seen anything like this when he was drinking this in Inner Mongolia. Yang explained, it's tapioca pearls, made from cassava flour. Can it be eaten? Chengue asked. Yes, it can, Yang nodded. Chengue took a sip from his spoon and was met with a rich milky fragrance, followed by a fresh tea aroma and a subtle fruity scent, all lingering in the mouth for a long time. The tapioca pearls were chewy, with a really nice texture, similar to that of fruit candy but much tastier. It was far tastier than the milk tea he had back in Inner Mongolia. Chengue's face was full of surprise. Seeing Chengue's reaction, Cuehua knew the milk tea must taste good, so she immediately picked up her cup and took a sip. Indeed, the taste did not disappoint her. Since the milk tea received such high praise, Yang made 2 more pounds of tapioca pearls that evening to serve at the noodle restaurant the following day. After prepping for the next day, Yang went on to make some facial cleanser and aloe vera gel. With the blender, she didn't have to think much about making skincare products. Since villagers kept bringing her aloe vera, Yang was not worried about running out of stock. Yang was sorting out her skincare products when Chengue walked in. Yang, the freckle-removing cream you made last time is really good. I want to have 2 more sets. By the way, my colleague's sister is having acne problems. Can you make any acne-removing cream? He asked. Acne? Yang slightly raised her eyebrows. It depends on the type of acne. Is it caused by heatiness? Is it serious? Actually, aloe vera gel could suffice for mild acne, but if it's severe, the gel could only serve as an auxiliary inflammation reducer. Chengue continued, it's not that severe, but it isn't mild either. She has about 8 or 9 pimples, and it doesn't seem to be caused by heatiness. My colleague said his sister doesn't eat spicy food. Yang nodded. All right, please tell her if she can wait a day, I'll make it for her. The acne cream will be the same price as the freckle cream. Chengue took the cream from Yang with one hand and handed over the money with the other. Fine, it's a deal. The market for acne products is actually pretty large. It's arguably better than that for freckle removal. So, once Chengue left, Yang started researching acne products. For products applied to the face, safety comes first, and only pure, unpolluted ingredients should be used. Why couldn't domestically produced skincare products keep their foothold in the market? Because of their unethical practices. They made inferior products and charged a fortune. Customers aren't fools. All of a sudden, an idea popped into Yang's mind. She took a flashlight and went to the vegetable garden. When she came back, she had a handful of portulaca. Portulaca is a kind of wild grass, edible and medicinal. According to traditional Chinese medicine, portulaca can be used for clearing heat, promoting urination, detoxification, reducing inflammation, quenching thirst, and diuresis. In fact, portulaca has a significant effect that is often overlooked: acne removal. After Yang cleaned and blended the portulaca, she added some honey and a secret formula, turning it into a paste. This was how she made the acne removal cream. Of course, Yang wouldn't hastily sell the products she made. After washing her face, she applied a bit of cream on the skin behind her ears. Only after confirming there was no issue would she proceed to sell it. The first thing she did the next morning was to check the acne cream she applied the night before. Very good. The skin in the mirror was fair and showed no abnormalities. Yang hummed a tune in satisfaction, packed a box of skincare products to the back seat of the bike, and then nonchalantly went to wash up. Shortly after, noises could be heard from the kitchen. She finished all these just after 3 in the morning. By the time Cuihua and Qingui got up, Yang had already ridden off on her bike. As it was the first day of selling milk tea, Yang followed her usual routine by giving away a cup of milk tea to every noodle customer. The milk tea came in both hot and normal temperature versions. Everyone was drinking milk tea for the first time, so as expected, Yang received countless positive reviews. How to stay uninvolved. Bubble tea _6. Because the cost of milk tea is much higher than sour plum soup, Yang plans to sell it for 3 cents a cup. Although the price is a little higher than sour plum soup, compared to drinks like Jianlibo and Daoist soda, it's a lot cheaper, so diners can accept it. Little boss, your milk tea is good. I'd like to take a cup back for my son to try. Could you give me an extra one? Yang smiled and said, if you order another bowl of noodles, I can give you an extra cup. With so many customers in the shop, she couldn't break her rules. If she gave everyone an extra cup, she wouldn't need to do business anymore. What if I buy it alone? Yang explained, if you buy it alone, it's 3 cents a cup. The promotion of getting milk tea with noodles is only for today. There won't be any tomorrow morning. All right, then cook another bowl of noodles for me. Only a fool would buy just 1 cup. People of this era have small appetites because they lack nutritious food, so they eat a lot. She could even eat 2 more bowls, let alone 1 more. After finishing her morning work, Yang took her skincare products to Wang Meifeng's unit during lunch break. At Wang, here are the facial cleanser and aloe vera gel you wanted. Oh, and these samples are for acne treatment and freckle removal. You can give them to people with acne and freckles. If they like it, they can buy it from me. Wang Meifeng took the box. All right, Yang, I got it. Thanks to Yang's skincare products, Wang Meifeng is now extremely popular at the company. Everywhere she goes, people take the initiative to greet her, and even many people she doesn't know come to find her. Even a number of leaders have bought skincare products from her. This isn't because she's selling Yang's skincare products, but because Yang indirectly helped her expand her network. As the saying goes, the more people, the better things will go. Who doesn't have a little trouble at home? Not only did Yang cure Yang Guobao for her, but she also did her such a big favor. Yang is simply her benefactor in life. After returning to her office, Wang Meifeng was immediately surrounded by a group of colleagues. Meifeng, how about it? Does the ice skin jade flesh from Divine Doctor have any stock now? Yes. Wang Meifeng laughed and distributed the skincare products to everyone, then gave the samples for acne and freckle removal to colleagues with acne and freckles. Lu Fen watched with her eyes turning red. She also wanted to buy a set of ice skin jade flesh from Wang Meifeng, but she didn't have the face to ask, especially since she had previously mocked Wang Meifeng, calling it skincare products for ugly faces. She regretted it. She shouldn't have done that back then. Lu Fen wished she could slap herself a few times. After a long struggle, Lu Fen finally saw Wang Meifeng at the bathroom door. She mustered up the courage to approach her and initiated the conversation. Meifeng, are you going to the bathroom? Upon hearing this, Wang Meifeng got goosebumps all over her body. What's up? Why are you acting so strange? Besides going to the bathroom, what else could I do in the bathroom? Lu Fen laughed and said, Meifeng, I'm sorry for what happened before. It was all because of my narrow mind. Please don't take it seriously. I'm the kind of person who has a bad mouth, but a good heart, Wang Meifeng said. With your good heart, you could curse your relatives with ugly faces and unable to marry. Lu Fen gave a dry laugh. Meifu, you know all about it. I'm sorry, at that time, I was led astray. I didn't mean it. Actually, Lu Fen's apology seemed quite sincere. Wang Meifeng didn't beat around the bush and said bluntly, just say what you want. Lu Fen stuttered, I want to buy a set of ice-skin jade flesh. Wang Meifeng couldn't help but laugh. Lu Fen, are you not afraid of having an ugly face anymore? Lu Fen immediately said, Meifeng, I really realized my mistake. I swear, I won't do that again in the future. Could you sell me a set? From a personal perspective, Wang Meifeng didn't want to sell the skincare products to Lu Fen, given the grudges between them. But make friends, not enemies. Yang is doing business, and offending people isn't good. If she doesn't sell to Lu Fen this time, what if Lu Fen spreads rumors and makes trouble next time? Business people are most afraid of trouble coming their way. She couldn't let her personal matters affect Yang's business. Moreover, Lu Fen could have asked someone else to buy it for her, but she didn't, which shows that Lu Fen has truly repented. In this case, there was no need for her to hold onto Lu Fen's faults, bearing in mind that Lu Fen had never apologized to anyone besides the leaders before. How to stand by and watch. Bubble tea under Sk7 no matter what, she had won this battle. Wang Meifeng continued, I can sell the item to you, but you must promise not to stir up any more rumors from now on. Okay. Lu Fen quickly nodded in agreement, I swear. Upon returning to the office, Wang Meifeng gave Lu Fen the facial cleanser and aloe vera gel. By the way, I noticed a few freckles on your face. Would you like to try this freckle removing cream? Yes. Thank you, Meifeng. Lu Fen was moved to tears. Seeing Lu Fen like this, everyone in the office thought they were hallucinating. My goodness, what had turned the sharp-tongued and mean Lu Fen into this? But this was a good thing. After all, everyone worked together in the same office. If they were always at odds, it would affect their work to some degree. Sun Mei walked over and discreetly gave Wang Meifeng a thumbs up. Meifeng, you're amazing. Even the old hag Lu Fen is totally subdued by you. Wang Meifeng laughed and said, it's all because of the great ice skin and jade flesh effect from the divine doctor. On her way home after work, Wang Meifeng bumped into an acquaintance. The acquaintance was none other than Lin Pingping. Pingping, are you coming from your aunt's house? Wang Meifeng initiated the conversation. Lin Pingping nodded. Yeah, I stayed at my aunt's house last night. Oh. Wang Meifeng nodded. Since you're free, why don't you come over to my place? You can have dinner at my house and we can have a good chat. Lin Pingping laughed and said, I'll visit another time, I have some chores to do at home. After a brief exchange of pleasantries, they both turned to leave. Wang Meifeng had just turned around when it seemed as if she suddenly remembered something. Pingping, wait. What's up? Wang Meifeng slipped 2 small boxes into Lin Pingping's hand. This is acne removing cream. It's developed by the divine doctor and it's really effective. Try it when you get home. To instill more confidence, Wang Meifeng added, this is from that same divine doctor who cured Xiao Dai. Lin Pingping looked puzzled. Can a doctor make skincare products? It's called medicinal beauty. Wang Meifeng continued, it's really good. You must try it. Lin Pingping casually tossed the acne cream into her purse. All right then. I'll take off first. See you. Wang Meifeng waved goodbye to Lin Pingping. Lin Pingping, as someone who has been through it all, knew that Wang Meifeng's smile was genuine. She also knew that Wang Meifeng was leading a happy life. Unlike her, Lin Pingping sighed softly and then headed home. When she reached her apartment, Lin Pingping saw her tidy in-laws followed by her husband, Hong Bin. Dad, Mom, Hong Bin, where are you guys heading? Her father-in-law and mother-in-law looked away in disgust, as if they might contaminate their eyes if they looked at Lin Pingping for too long. Hong Bin also avoided looking directly at his wife's face. When he spoke, his eyes seemed to wander. My cousin is having a full moon banquet for her baby. My parents and I are going to join the celebration. The full moon banquet is a major event. Lin Pingping immediately said, "Let me get ready and go with you." "You're going?" her mother-in-law, Xianxia, sneered. "Are you planning to scare everyone with your ugliness? Isn't it enough how much we've already been made fun of? You're embarrassing us. My poor Binbin is entirely out of luck to have married you." These words were truly hurtful. But hearing them over and over again, Lin Pingping had grown accustomed to it. She had become numb. Even her husband, who had once made sincere vows of love to her, was silent and didn't come to Lin Pingping's defense at all. He was indifferent, like a stranger. Before Lin Pingping could say anything, Xianxia extended her hand towards her. "You went to the Mo family yesterday. Did they give you any money again? Hand it over." Everything in this house, from the social interactions to the cooking oil and salt, requires money. Don't think about stashing it away. Lin Pingping's voice was very calm. "I didn't take any money from my aunt." "What? You didn't?" Upon hearing this, Xianxia flew into a rage. "You worthless wench! Do you think our home is a bank? They give us money and you refuse to take it. Don't you understand? Everything you eat and drink belongs to my son. You're a cheap good-for-nothing who married into our family out of desperation." Xianxia was a classic evil mother-in-law. Having been ill-treated by her own mother-in-law, when she had finally become a mother-in-law herself, she, of course, wanted to assert her power. Moreover, Lin Pingping had married into the family of her own volition. Xianxia's sneering immediately attracted the attention of other people in the same building. She had to begrudgingly close her mouth. It was only then that Hongbin raised his head to look at Lin Pingping and sighed helplessly. "Don't blame my mom for her harsh words. She has a point. Since the Mo family has money, why should it be an issue if they share some with us? Look at your cousin Baichuan from the Mo family. A watch on his wrist is as expensive as a house. And Mo Qishan, that spendthrift, he's already 27 and doesn't have a proper job, completely dependent on his family. What does that tell you? That the Mo family certainly isn't short of money. Let it go this time, learn to be smarter next time. Whatever they offer, accept it, don't act modestly," Hongbin said a lot in one breath. As Lin Pingping recalled Wang Maifeng's smiling face, she felt both frustrated and angry. Her heart ached. She didn't wait for Hongbin to finish and turned around to walk away. "This ugly woman. She dared to show us attitude. Does she even respect me as her mother-in-law? Divorce. I want a divorce tomorrow. Let's see who would want this ugly woman." Xianxia jumped up angrily. Hongbin said, "Let it go, Mom. Don't stoop to her level. Let's head over to my aunt's place first and deal with her later." After Lin Pingping came back, she opened the door to her room and lay on the bed, staring blankly at the ceiling. She had become ugly now, but when she married Hongbin, she was one of the most beautiful women. When exactly did her life take such a downturn? After a while, Lin Pingping mindlessly tossed her purse on her vanity, creating a clattering sound as something fell out of it. She turned her head to see. It turned out to be the acne cream Wang Meifeng gave her. Who's to blame if one's own son is not promising? Break the siege eye acne cream? Lin Pingping's ears suddenly echoed with Wang Meifeng's words. Wang Meifeng had said that this acne cream was very effective and was made by the divine doctor. But over the years, she had already used too many acne products that claimed to be effective, including cosmetics medications developed by foreign professors. Yet, her face seemed to have developed immunity to these products. No matter what was applied, it couldn't prevent acne from growing. Would this tiny box of acne cream really work? Lin Pingping sat up from the bed and picked up the light green box. Lifting the lid, her eyes met a light brown, cream-like substance. It had a subtle fragrance, carrying with it hints of green grass and a faint smell of medicine. Lin Pingping was a Western medicine practitioner. She knew that these were common ingredients, perhaps useful for ordinary acne, but they had no effect on her. Lin Pingping sighed quietly and absent-mindedly set the acne cream on the dresser. Seeing her face reflected in the mirror of the dressing table, her eyes suddenly reddened. Lin Pingping wanted to cry her heart out, but she couldn't. Just then, the sound of the door opening came from outside. "Mom, I'm back. Make me a meal. I'm starving." "Where are you?" It was the voice of her younger sister-in-law, Hong Meiyue. She was lazy and ambitious, a giant baby at 23. Yet, she was the apple of Shin Qing's and Hong Dabing's eyes. Lin Pingping took a deep breath, opened the door and walked out. Yaya is back. Hong Meiyue saw her come out and commanded like ordering a servant, "Oh, you're home? Why didn't you say anything? Are you acting like a dead person? Hurry and cook for me, I'm hungry." Lin Pingping squeezed a thin smile from the corner of her mouth. "Okay, just wait a moment." Hong Meiyue continued, "Never mind, don't cook." "What's the matter, yeah?" Lin Pingping looked at Hong Meiyue, puzzled. Hong Meiyue spoke in disgust. "Look at your disgusting face. What if it infects me? I'll eat out instead, give me money." Lin Pingping looked at Hong Meiyue. "I don't have any money. I gave all of last month's salary to Mom." In the Hong family, every penny of her monthly salary was handed over to Shinqing. "No money?" Hong Meiyue squinted. "Didn't you receive a bonus last month? Where's that bonus? Did you hide it behind my mom's back to keep as private money?" Lin Pingping did indeed receive a bonus last month. That bonus had been spent on a Picasso pen for Mo Hudi. An imported Picasso pen cost 200 yuan, amounting to several months of Lin Pingping's salary. No bonus was given. Of course, Lin Pingping wouldn't be foolish enough to tell Hong Meiyue about buying the pen. "Oh," said Hong Meiyue, "I see. You probably secretly went to the beauty salon to treat your face again, didn't you? I told you before, your face will never get better. Going to the beauty salon is just wasting money. You just wait until my mom and brother come back, they'll tell them what you did." As she said the last sentence, a gloating expression appeared on Hong Meiyue's face. "Whatever you want." Lin Pingping spoke indifferently. Stunned, Hong Meiyue punched the cotton, angered and speechless. She had thought that Lin Pingping would have been frightened by her words and bribed her with money. Ugly wretch. Despicable woman. Hong Meiyue spoke viciously. Lin Pingping didn't say anything more and simply turned around and walked out. "Where are you going?" Hong Meiyue asked furiously. Lin Pingping didn't respond to her. Hong Meiyue was seething with anger. "Ugly freak. Just you wait, sooner or later I'll make my brother divorce you." Upon hearing the word divorce, Lin Pingping's steps stuttered for a moment. Divorce? She couldn't get a divorce. If she was divorced, she would have nothing left. No matter what, she wouldn't get divorced. Lin Pingping clenched her fist. The weather outside was beautiful. The sun was shining brightly, the sky was cloudless, and even the wind was warm. Lin Pingping didn't have a specific destination and wandered aimlessly. Until she saw a noodle restaurant with a closed sign on it did she finally stopped. To be precise, she was attracted by the girl inside the shop who was wiping tables. The girl was truly beautiful. As Lin Pingping looked at her, it was as if she saw herself from over a decade ago. At that time, she was just like her, brilliant, beautiful, young. Dumbfounded, Lin Pingping watched, her eyes filled with longing and envy. Who's to blame if one's own son is not promising? Break the siege _2. It is wonderful to be young. After a moment, Lin Pingping took her eyes away, walking forward absent-mindedly. She didn't even realize she had bumped into someone. "Aunt, are you all right?" Only then did Lin Pingping react. "I'm fine." The young man who was bumped didn't say much. He carried a book in his hand and kept walking forward. He stopped in front of the sour fish noodle restaurant. A middle-aged lady came out with a smile. "I'm sorry, young man, we're closed now. We will be open at 2:30 in the afternoon." The young man responded, "Aunt, I am here to find Anai Yang. Is she here?" The middle-aged woman nodded. "Oh, you're looking for Yang Yang. Hang on, I'll call her for you." As Zhou Qingshang spoke, she walked towards the kitchen. In a moment, Anai Yang came out. Upon seeing the young man, she paused before saying, "Li Wei?" Indeed, it was Li Wei. Having seen Anai Yang on the street last night, Li Wei had made some inquiries and found that Anai Yang had opened a noodle restaurant here. At first, Li Wei couldn't believe that Anai Yang would open a noodle restaurant, and only standing inside the restaurant did he realize that Anai Yang had indeed opened one. First a stall, and now a restaurant. And Yang was beyond his imagination. And Yang, it's been a long time since we last met. I thought you left Beijing. I didn't expect you to open a noodle restaurant. Congratulations. And Yang smiled, thank you. Li Wei continued, I am puzzled by a math problem. Could you help me with it? And Yang nodded, sure. Li Wei genuinely needed Yang's assistance in a math problem. It was a very difficult problem, one which not even the class monitor could solve. In this era, Chinese students had not yet had any exposure to Olympiad problems and were unfamiliar with the international standard. Li Wei was only dealing with Olympiad problems because the teacher in their class had studied abroad. Yang took the test paper and began to ponder before she started solving. She was far removed from her previous life as a student. Facing this Olympiad problem, she was slightly dazed initially. She had to reorganize some knowledge points. Seeing her like this, Li Wei felt a little better. He had thought Yang was capable of everything. As it turned out, there were problems Yang could not solve either. That's right. The Olympiad problems were foreign. How could Yang solve them? However, in the next moment, Yang stunned Li Wei. She started to write down the process of solving the problem, stroke by stroke. Not only did she have the correct answer, but her solution was even clearer than the teacher's. You take a look, Yang returned the paper to Li Wei. In mathematics, all logical thinking is the same. The formula I have just written can be applied universally. Even if you go to university and study advanced mathematics later, the logic will remain the same. Li Wei nodded, a look of surprise in his eyes. He didn't even know what to say. After a while, he came back to his senses. Yang, thank you very much. You're welcome, Yang smiled gently. Li Wei glanced around the noodle restaurant. Then he continued, Yang, the rent for such a large noodle shop must be expensive, isn't it? His family paid more than 150 yuan a month for a small shop. This shop of Yang's must be even larger, thus could be assumed to be pricier. Yang laughed. Not very expensive, I bought this restaurant. She bought it? Yang actually bought the restaurant. Li Wei swallowed back the words. If you need help, you can ask me. Yang had bought her own restaurant, while his family was still renting a shop. What could he possibly help Yang with? The last shred of superiority in Li Wei's heart vanished. He even forgot how he had left Yang's restaurant. He walked home, still a little absent-minded. He didn't know what happened to him. When he first met Yang, she was just a simple village girl with nothing. In just a few short months, Yang had become a person who was superior to him in every way. Luckily, Yang had dropped out of school by now. Otherwise, if he stood by Yang, he would hardly even feel his existence. Who's to blame if one's own son is not promising? Break the siege _3. Once she became a university student, her experiences increased and her social circle expanded, Yang would definitely not be as good as herself. Xiaowei, did you just go to see Yang? Qian Jinfeng came over from the side. Yes. Li Wei didn't hide it and simply nodded his head. Qian Jinfeng continued, did you find out where Yang is renting a stall now? She didn't rent a stall. Didn't rent a stall? As Qian Jinfeng was puzzled, she heard Li Wei continue, Yang has now bought her own shop. The noodle restaurant that just opened a few days ago and became very popular, that's Yang's doing. What? Qian Jinfeng felt a sour pang in her heart when she heard this. Bought a shop? A shop costs 20 or 30,000 yuan. With renovation and all, it costs nearly 40,000 yuan. Yang can actually afford to buy a shop. Their family had always wanted to buy a shop, but the business in the past few years was barely making ends meet. It was only in the past 2 years that things had started to improve, but they still lacked the money to buy even half a shop. Qian Jinfeng looked at Li Wei, saying, Xiaowei, I forbid you to see her anymore. So what if she bought a shop? She still isn't good enough for you. You're taking your college entrance exam next June. You can't be distracted now. Once you get into a good university, won't you have your pick of female classmates? As she spoke, Qian Jinfeng began to walk away. Li Wei asked, Mom, where are you going? I'm going out for a stroll. Qian Jinfeng said. You don't worry about me. Stay home and study hard so that you can get into a good university and give me something to be proud of. Li Wei returned to his room with a strange feeling in his heart. He studied so hard, yet his academic performance was inferior to that of a business owner. Isn't that a joke? Qian Jinfeng went straight to Enai Yang's noodle restaurant. The well-decorated restaurant was large. The more Qian Jinfeng looked at it, the more uncomfortable she felt. Why did such a nice shop belong to Enai Yang? As it happened, Enai Yang was taking out the trash when Qian Jinfeng arrived at the restaurant. Enai Yang, I have something to say to you. Qian Jinfeng approached Enai Yang. Qian Jinfeng pondered for a long time. Why did Enai Yang open the restaurant here? She was obviously targeting her son, Li Wei. She couldn't let Enai Yang succeed. Enai Yang greeted her with a smile. Aunt Qian, please say what you have to say. Qian Jinfeng glanced around. Let's find a quiet place to talk. Enai Yang said, I'm about to open for business. Aunt Qian, just say it here. Qian Jinfeng nodded, then said, Okay, since you're not afraid of making a fool of yourself, I'll say it straight. My Xiaowei is going to college in the future. You are just a petty business owner, not to brag, but you are really not worthy of Xiaowei. So, Aunt is asking you to bother Xiaowei less in the future. As Qian Jinfeng said these words, she held her head high, adopting an air of unattainable arrogance. Her son was a golden phoenix. Enai Yang was not even worth mentioning as a sparrow. Hearing this, Enai Yang remained calm and smiled. Actually, I think you should tell Li Wei what you just said. Why don't you ask him, who is it that always provokes me first? I'm under a lot of pressure too. Don't just let your son run wild and blame others, okay? Qian Jinfeng was stunned. She didn't expect Enai Yang to have this attitude at all. She thought that after she said these words, Enai Yang would be very eager to please her. After all, in Enai Yang's eyes, she could be her future mother-in-law. Isn't it usual for a daughter-in-law to please her mother-in-law? But Enai Yang? Not only did she not show any eagerness to please, but she also retorted with derision. Did she just call her a dog? Before Qian Jinfeng could say anything, Enai Yang continued, as the saying goes, if the child is not taught, it's the parent's fault. If your son is not ambitious, how can you blame me? Now that Li Wei is not here, could you please tell him to stop looking for me, or else, I will have to report him for harassment. Enai Yang is a person of clear love and hatred, and she wouldn't take anyone's anger for no reason. Since Qian Jinfeng deliberately wanted to give her trouble, she certainly would not let Qian Jinfeng off easily. Qian Jinfeng was far from being able to bully her. Qian Jinfeng was trembling with anger. Yet, she had no rebuttal. If her son is not ambitious, who's to blame? If she continued to entangle with Enai Yang, she would just be embarrassing herself. Qian Jinfeng is a businesswoman and cares about her face. She knew that she couldn't make a scene at this time. Who's to blame if one's own son is not promising? Break the siege _4. Qian Jinfeng went back home stewing in her anger. When she returned, she washed an apple and handed it to Li Wei. Mom just went to see Enai Yang. Li Wei was surprised. What did you go to see her for? I told her to stop bothering you. But Enai Yang just scolded me, even saying that you're the one who always seek her out. Xiaowei, can we have some dignity? Listen to Mom, don't go looking for her anymore, okay? Qian Jinfeng embellished the story of what had just happened and told Li Wei. Li Wei remained silent. Qian Jinfeng continued, your job right now is to study hard, so that you can get into a good university next year. That Enai Yang will surely come begging to you. At that time, when she does, we can kick her far, far away. That'll be revenge for Mom. After a long silence, Li Wei finally spoke. Mom, did Enai Yang really say that? Qian Jinfeng responded grumpily, I'm your mom. Would I lie to you? Li Wei then said, Okay Mom, I understand, I will definitely get into a good university, for your sake. Hearing this, Qian Jinfeng responded with satisfaction, Good, good, you are my good son. Lin Pingping was aimlessly wandering the streets when she saw a familiar figure. Is it Hong Bin? Who is that pregnant woman standing behind Hong Bin? After being married into the Hong family for over 10 years, Ping Ping understood the family well enough to know that the woman wasn't a relative. Moreover, Hong Bin was being particularly affectionate with her, which was not the typical behavior between friends or relatives. Her usually strict parents-in-law were full of smiles, talking happily with the woman. The family of 4 seemed very cheerful. No wonder they've stopped calling her a chicken that can't lay eggs. Turns out they found a chicken that can lay eggs. Disbelieving, Lin Pingping took a few steps back and couldn't help but crouch down and sob quietly. With the way things had turned out, she couldn't blame anyone else. All she could blame was herself for not being able to give the Hong family a grandson after all these years. Not only had she failed to provide them with a grandson, she wasn't even able to save face in the end. Her life was a total failure. After a long time, Lin Pingping numbly got up, her legs felt like jelly, and she tottered back home in a daze. When she got home and looked at her disfigured face in the mirror, no trace of her former vitality and spirit could be found. What had she been holding on to all these years? Lin Pingping gave a scornful smile at her reflection in the mirror. Just then, the door was pushed open, and Hong Bin strode in angrily. Lin Pingping, I heard from Yeye that you spent all your bonus last month on your face. Is that true? Yes, Lin Pingping nodded. Hearing this, Hong Bin exploded in fury. You know the situation at home. You're spending money recklessly. Do you really think your face can be fixed? I'm telling you, your face is beyond repair. Lin Pingping picked up her bag, put the anti-acne cream from her dressing table into it, and walked out. Stop. Where are you going? Lin Pingping turned around, her face was so calm it was almost lifeless. I'm going to my aunt's house. To borrow money. Hearing the last 4 words, Hong Bin immediately put on a gentle facade. Then you should go quickly. It's getting late. Do you want me to accompany you? No need, I can go by myself. Lin Pingping's voice was soft. Hong Bin didn't insist. Anyway, the Mo family were all snobs looking down on others. Apart from their money, they were good for nothing. It was better not to go. When Lin Pingping passed by the living room, her in-laws naturally didn't give her a friendly look. After a long day's work, Ni Yang rode her bicycle home. Just as she was nearing her house, Ni Yang heard a plop. It sounded like something heavy had fallen into the water. From Ni Yang's years of experience, it was clear that someone had fallen into the water. Ni Yang quickly jumped off her bike and ran to the riverbank. In the faint moonlight, sure enough, she saw someone struggling in the water. Without any hesitation, Ni Yang dove into the water, grabbed that person around the waist, and started swimming towards the shore with all her might. Luckily, Ni Yang was a good swimmer, and in no time, she had reached the shore. Who's to blame if one's own son is not promising? Break the siege under Survive. Ni Yang quickly performed first aid on the man she had brought ashore. Though he was timely saved from the brink of death, he was unconscious. Ni Yang parked the car by the roadside, hoisted the man onto her back, and started heading home. Upon seeing her return with a carried load, Ni Hua exclaimed with surprise, Yang, what happened? Ni Yang briefly explained the situation. Ni Hua, a sympathetic person herself, immediately said, Take him to the room quick, then go shower with warm water, I will go bring the car back. Just then, Ni walked in from outside, and after hearing the situation volunteered, Sister Yang, I'll go bring the car back. You stay home and assist Yang. Thank you, Sister Chingue. Ni Yang hadn't felt cold while rescuing the person earlier, but now upon making it at home, the bone-chilling cold was seeping in. Ni Yang took a hot bath, and Ni Hua warmed up a bucket of water to wash the unconscious woman on the bed. She then fetched a set of her clothes for the woman to change into. The woman wasn't very attractive. Her hands were fair, but her face was dotted relentlessly with pimples, which made her hard to look at. Oh, she must be truly pitiful to attempt a suicide. Ni Hua sighed continuously. After her bath, Ni Yang checked on the woman, and confirming she was in a stable state, she went to cook. To be prepared in case the woman woke up during the night, she made an extra bowl of red date and ginger porridge to drive away the cold. Sure enough, the woman stirred from her unconscious state as the 3 wrapped up their dinner. And Hua asked with concern, Sister, what made you so distressed that you attempted suicide? Life gives you only one chance. Once lost, there's no second chance. And Xianxia added, hanging on to life is always better than dying. Share your troubles with us. We might not be capable of much, but as the saying goes, 3 cobblers are better than a zhuge liang. Maybe we could be of some help. The woman hung her head, her face filled with sorrow, and didn't know how to begin. Much later, she finally croaked out in a low voice, Thank you for saving me, but I really don't want to live anymore. Her husband's betrayal. Her ruined appearance. This life already seemed pointless. By the end of her talk, she was drowned in tears, her throat choked as she recounted her story. My name is Lin Pingping, I am 30 years old, a local of Beijing. Lin Pingping poured her heart out, leaving no detail of her grievances unsaid. In the past, out of fear of humiliation, she had never shared these with anyone. Now she didn't care about any of that. She just wanted someone to confide in. Listening to her, Hua's eyes got teary. She seemed to see her own reflection in Lin Pingping. Xianxia was also wiping her tears sympathetically and cursing the Hong family. Yang slightly furrowed her brows unnoticed. Be it the present Lin Pingping or the past Hua, they all were victims of the times. Yang crouched down to Lin Pingping's eye level. Her clear eyes were devoid of any disdain or revulsion. Her lush lips parted slowly and she began to speak. Aunt Lin, you shouldn't have tried to kill yourself. You should live on, go to the court for a divorce and claim what's rightfully yours. His infidelity and his affair resulting in a pregnancy, that's nothing but shameless sleaziness. He not only deserves jail time but also to compensate for the waste of your 10 years. Trying to commit suicide at this point in time is like abdicating to that other woman. It's an extremely irrational move. Lin Pingping raised her head and upon seeing Yang's face, she was taken aback momentarily. Wasn't this young girl the one she had seen in the noodle restaurant in the morning? After a while, she echoed, divorce? In this era, divorced women were shamed. Furthermore, Lin Pingping's old-fashioned upbringing made it challenging for her to envision living as a divorced woman, carrying the scorn associated with it. Yes, Yang affirmed, divorce. But, Yang carried on saying, Aunt Lin, times have changed. Divorced women are everywhere, and divorce is not shameful. Everyone has their moments of blindness. Hearing this, Hua agreed fervently, Sister, Yang is right. Divorce isn't a disgrace. Look at me, I'm living quite well now, right? My past was even worse than yours. Who's to blame if one's own son is not promising? Break the siege _6. Hua was sharing her own story with Lin Pingping. Lin Pingping listened, her face gradually showing an incredibly shocked expression. She thought she was unlucky enough, but she hadn't expected that there were people in this world who were even unluckier than her. If she hadn't heard it with her own ears, she wouldn't have believed that there were people in this world who would abandon their own children. Sister, Hua said with a sigh, take my advice, get a divorce. You still have a long life ahead of you, why ruin it over a man like this? Lin Pingping was a smart person who got the point quickly. The reason she was confused all these years was because she never showed her scars to others. Everyone thought she was happy, so naturally, no one talked to her about these things. Okay, sis, I got it, thank you all. Hua said happily, I'm glad you understand. Yang brought a bowl of porridge in from outside. Auntie Lin, have some red dates and ginger porridge to warm up first. Thank you. Lin Pingping took the bowl of porridge with both hands and slowly drank it. That night, Lin Pingping and Hua talked until late. She gained a lot of insights from Hua's words and felt more and more that she was so foolish in the past. The next morning, Lin Pingping asked to say goodbye. Hua handed her a bottle filled with a brown liquid. Ping, this is an acne cream made by Yang. She said it can cure the acne on your face. Lin Pingping refused. Sister Hua, you, Yang, and Sister Xianxia are all good people. You saved my life. How can I take your stuff now? Just take it, Hua smiled. Stand up for us women and live a good life. Lin Pingping took the bottle, nodded resolutely and said, "Thank you, Sister Hua." After returning to the urban area, Lin Pingping didn't go back to the Hong family immediately. Instead, she found a classmate who was a lawyer and then visited a private detective agency. After doing all these, she went back to the Hong family as if nothing had happened. Just as she got home, Hong Bin immediately asked her for money. Lin Pingping smiled and said, "My aunt said that she would give us a bank book in a few days, don't worry." Hong Bin exclaimed, "Really?" Lin Pingping nodded, "Of course it's true." Hong Bin said, "When you get the bank book, you should give it to my mom for safekeeping." "Sure," Lin Pingping nodded, "I'll listen to you." Because the price of milk tea was 3 times higher than sour plum soup, Yang originally thought that milk tea wouldn't sell well that day. Unexpectedly, the milk tea was a huge hit. Some people lined up just to buy a cup of milk tea. Over 1,600 cups of milk tea were sold just in one morning. The sales revenue from the milk tea alone was more than 600 yuan for the day. Together with pickled vegetable noodles, the total revenue for the day was more than 1,300 yuan. This was the revenue when milk tea was sold out. If there was enough milk tea, the total could be even higher. Since milk tea was so popular, she had to plan ahead. Yang thought for a while, and during lunch break the next day, she went to the trademark office to register a trademark for the milk tea, called New York milk tea. Yang was a person of vision. She never left trouble for herself or loopholes for her competitors when she did things. She had a clear goal. To do big things. To earn big money. The second day after Lin Pingping returned, she finally had time to look at the acne cream Yang gave her. She took off the cap and was stunned when she saw the acne cream. Wasn't this acne cream the same as the one that Wang Meifeng gave her? Lin Pingping took out the little box from her bag, and when she opened it, it smelled and looked the same as what Wang Meifeng gave her. Although she knew that this acne cream couldn't heal the acne on her face, she still applied it evenly on her face. "Just try it." She couldn't let down Yang's kindness. The Mo family. Madame Mo held Mo Kishan's hand and pleaded, "Old Six, the girl your cousin introduced to you this time is really good, according to the people I asked. Why don't you go see her?" Mo Kishan helplessly said, "Mom, I'll be honest with you, I already have someone in my heart. If I go, wouldn't it be irresponsible to the girl?" "Someone?" Madame Mo asked curiously, "Who? Who is this girl? Do I know her?" Who's to blame if one's own son is not promising? "Break the siege _7 Mo Chishan said with a smile, "Don't worry about that. When the time is right, you'll come to know." Upon hearing this, Grandma Mo felt a pang in her heart. This foolish boy, could he still be pining for that Xiao Jingrong? Grandma Mo continued, "Even if you have someone, just go take a glance. Just one look, you won't lose anything. Besides, your cousin has already arranged a suitable girl for you. How can you stand her up now? How would that make her look?" At this moment, the abrupt sound of a telephone rang in the air. A servant answered it, then said, muffling the receiver, "Madam, it's a call from your niece." Grandma Mo said, "Tell Ping Ping that the 6th will be there soon." After saying this, Grandma Mo turned to look at Mo Chishan, pushing him out. "Hurry, hurry, pop over for a look and come back. Don't embarrass your cousin." Reluctantly, Mo Chishan had to go outside, mount his bicycle, and head towards the urban area. Lin Pingping had arranged for Mo Chishan to meet a marriage prospect named Huang Ro. Huang Ro, true to her name, was very beautiful and gentle. But upon seeing that Mo Chishan had arrived on a bicycle, her expression instantly darkened. Wasn't it said that Mo Kishan's family was quite wealthy? Why had he come on a shabby bicycle? Was he deliberately testing her? "Number 6, over here," Lin Pingping waved at Mo Chishan. As Pingping had only just started applying acne cream, there was no visible change to her face. "Cousin," Mo Chishan got off his bike. Lin Pingping laughed and said, "Number 6, this is Comrade Huang Ro. Little Ro, this is my cousin, Mo Chishan." Huang Ro nodded her head. Lin Pingping continued, "Number 6, why don't you take little Ro for a stroll? I have some work at my office, so I'll be heading back first." Having said that, Lin Pingping turned and left. Mr. Mo, I heard from Sister Ping Ping that your family conditions are pretty good? Huang Ro asked tentatively. Honestly, Mo Qishan was quite handsome, but Huang Ro was a pragmatic person. What did good looks account for? Could they be spent like money, or eaten like food? Mo Qishan chuckled. Miss Huang, if there's a chance that we'll be spending the rest of our lives together, I don't wish to hide anything from you. My name is Mo Qishan, I dropped out of high school, I have 4 older brothers, my parents are both alive, and while my family's conditions are fairly good, that's all to my brother's credit. It has nothing to do with me. So after getting married, they'll have to move out. But don't worry, as long as we're diligent, I'm confident we can change our circumstances and live a good life. Are you saying that you have nothing? Huang Ro raised an eyebrow. Yes. Mo Qishan nodded. This was completely different from what Lin Pingping had described. Huang Ro felt like she'd been seriously deceived. You have nothing, yet you have the audacity to come and meet me for a setup date? What makes you think you, a penniless fool, deserve me? Huang Ro screamed. Have you even looked in the mirror? Do you see what kind of person you are? A toad wishing to eat swan meat. Have you no shame? People like you will never get married in this life. You make me sick. Comrade, if you don't like him, fine. But there's no need for personal attacks, right? Just because you don't like him doesn't mean others won't. A gentle voice came from the air. Huang Ro looked up to see an extraordinarily beautiful face. She scoffed. Who would like this kind of penniless wimp? Yang walked over, naturally taking Mo Qishan's hand. I do. Brother Mo, ignore her, let's go. Huang Ro was speechless. Are you blind? You're interested in this kind of person. Yang paused, looking back at Huang Ro. We simply have different values. You value money, I value people. So, you can't negate me and I can't negate you. Crazy! Huang Ro muttered, then quickly walked away from there. Once sure that Huang Ro was out of sight, Yang let go of Mo Qishan's hand. Brother Mo, I'm sorry. Yang, who in her previous life had experienced so many grand scenes, now had a layer of sweat on her palms. Her heartbeat was a little haphazard. Although it was early winter, she felt unexplainably hot. Mo Qishan was no better. His ears were burning red, and his hand remained in a semi-grasping state. It was his first time holding a girl's hand. How could he not be nervous? Trying to remain calm, Mo Qishan said, It's all right, thank you. Yang chuckled. No problem, you helped me before, remember? By the way, was that your girlfriend just now? Mo Qishan said, No, she was a blind date arranged by my family. I really didn't want to come, but my mom, Mo Qishan, normally such a smooth talker, suddenly didn't know how to explain what had just happened. Yang nodded. Ah, I see. Yang, how come you're here? Mo Qishan changed the subject. Yang said, I happened to be out during lunch, wandering around, looking for a factory that could make disposable paper cups. I didn't expect to run into you here. If Yang wanted to expand her bubble tea business, she would need to find a good manufacturer of disposable paper cups. The bubble tea she was currently selling was served in glass cups. If customers wanted to take it home, they had to use their own cups. It's really inconvenient. If she had disposable paper cups, it would be much more convenient. Disposable paper cups actually have been around since the early 20th century, but at a time when transportation was not advanced, they didn't make it to China. Disposable paper cups? Mo Qishan raised his eyebrows slightly. Do you have a sample I can take a look at? Yes, I do. Yang fetched a notebook from her bag and handed it to Mo Qishan. Mo Qishan took the notebook, and when he saw the designs on it, his eyes flashed with surprise. Did you draw all of these? Divorce, then buy a shop. _1 The design on the notebook was angular, exuding a strong sense of three-dimensionality. Some details were also sketched out very well, with text annotations aside that were clear and distinct. It even surpassed some of the professional designers. Who would believe that such a design was the work of a 17-year-old girl if they hadn't seen it with their own eyes? Moreover, these kinds of paper cups were only circulated abroad. They were almost non-existent domestically, making it hard to imagine how extensive the knowledge and experience of this person were. Imo-chishin had a look of astonishment. And Yang nodded. I drew it, but am not sure if there's a manufacturer who can produce it. How many do you need now? Imo-chishin asked. And Yang replied, I need about 2,000 a day, which amounts to about 60,000 a month, and the demand may increase. Although the quantity was large, it was actually not that much due to the weightlessness of disposable cups. The difficulty lies in finding the cup manufacturing factory. Yang had already approached several factories, all of which stated they did not possess the required technology. Some people even misunderstood the concept of making cups using paper. Imo-chishin observed the design. I have a classmate in this field. He even went abroad for an investigation tour. I'll ask him for you. Really? Yang was somewhat surprised. Imo-chishin nodded. Really? Yang smiled and said, Thank you so much, brother. Imo-chishin responded, You're welcome. We are friends, plus you just helped me. Friends, if he could add a girl in front of friend, that would be even better. By the way, brother Imo, have you ever tasted milk tea? Yang asked. No, Imo-chishin responded immediately. Yang continued, Then, come to my place. I'll make milk tea for you. Sure. The pair arrived at the noodle restaurant. They hadn't started business for the day yet. Wang Jinfang and Zhou Qingshang were napping inside. They walked in quietly. Yang whispered, Brother Imo, you sit here for a while. I'll make the milk tea for you. They were very close to each other. Imo-chishin could even smell the faint fragrance from her, smelling like bamboo but not orchid. It was particularly pleasing. Okay. Yang turned and entered the kitchen, opened up the gas stove, and started making milk tea. Soon, the kitchen was filled with the aroma of tea. Seeing osmanthus flowers and glutinous rice flour on the side, Yang also made a few osmanthus cakes. About half an hour later, she walked out of the kitchen. Yang placed the milk tea and osmanthus cake in front of Imo-chishin. Brother Imo, have a taste. Imo-chishin first pinched a piece of faint yellow osmanthus cake. It was soft and glutinous. The cake melted in his mouth. The sweetness was just right, displaying a refreshing texture. It was incredibly delicious. Eating osmanthus cake while sipping the flavorful milk tea, the taste was simply too good. Imo-chishin couldn't resist having a second piece, then a third. Seeing him relish the cakes, Yang couldn't resist having a piece herself. Yes, the taste was indeed surprisingly good. A slight curvaceous smile unfurled across Yang's lips, her dimples visible. Who knows whose eyes were dazzled by her? The two chatted while sipping their milk tea. Afternoon came quickly. After Imo-chishin left, old Granny Imo couldn't wait any longer to ask him about his blind date. Imo-chishin said, Not good, she didn't like me at all. Didn't like you? Old Granny Imo said incredulously, How is that possible? Even though Imo-chishin's reputation was quite bad among their peers, he was still considered outstanding among ordinary households. Moreover, he was handsome. How couldn't the girl like him? Imo-chishin smiled and said, At first, when she saw me riding a bicycle, her face looked off. Old Granny Imo sighed, You have a car at home but you insist on riding a bicycle. Now see what happened, you can't even find a wife. A wise man should marry a virtuous wife. It's better without such a superficial girl who chooses the rich and snubs the poor. Imo-chishin stood up to massage old Granny Mo's shoulders. Mom, don't introduce me to these people anymore. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing, there's no need to rush. Old Granny Imo went on, Old Six, you told me you have someone in mind this morning, is it true? It's true. Imo-chishin nodded, not trying to hide it. Divorce. Then by the shop. _2. The elderly Mrs. Imo pondered her words and asked tentatively, Son, tell your mother truthfully, are you still hung up on Zhao Jingrong? Imo-chishin laughed out loud. Mother, what are you thinking about? How many times have I even met Zhao Jingrong? Don't worry, it's not her. Hearing this, the elderly Mrs. Imo finally let out a sigh of relief, as long as it's not her. Having said that, she asked again, Do I know the girl? Imo-chishin said, I'll keep it a secret for now. Is it Yang? The elderly Mrs. Imo turned her head to look at Imo Chishan. Upon thinking about it carefully, over this period, Imo Chishan did spend quite a lot of time with Ni Yang. And Yang Yang was a very likable young girl. It would be normal for Imo Chishan to take a liking to Ni Yang. Instead of directly answering the question, Imo Chishan said, "I'm going up to rest first, mother. You should go to bed early too." But the elderly Mrs. Imo was not a fool. She just laughed and cursed, "Naughty boy." Lin Pingping visited the detective agency again today. This time, she not only got the photos, but she also found the address of the other woman. In order to confirm that the address was correct, Lin Pingping spent half a day staking it out. In the evening, she finally saw a familiar figure walking briskly towards her. The woman was pregnant and walked over saying, "Aben. Guizhi." The two looked around cautiously before heading into the apartment. It was only after a long while that the two of them emerged from the apartment. Su Guizhi whispered in a low voice, "When are you going to divorce that ugly woman at home? Our child is about to be born. You can't just leave us out in the cold, can you?" Hongbin said, "I want a divorce, but she keeps disagreeing. As long as my heart is with you, does it really matter if we're divorced or not? Moreover, once our child is born, we will need money for everything. Her family is so rich, wouldn't it be the same as cutting off my own wealth if I divorce her now? She doesn't want to divorce? Well, let her earn money for us to raise our son." Hongbin's thoughts are more beautiful than anyone else's. One wife to make money and support the family, and another wife to continue the family lineage. Upon hearing this, Su Guizhi chuckled and said, "How do you know that it's definitely a boy?" "My mother said so. Judging by the shape of your belly, it must be a boy." The conversation between the two continued. Lin Pingping reached out and held onto a tree branch tightly, her grip so strong that her fingernails dug deep into the bark of the tree. 10 years. She had wasted 10 years of her youth on this ungrateful man. Disgusting. Lin Pingping struggled to control her rage. After a long while, she finally turned around and left. When she returned to the Hong family, it was already very late. "Why are you only coming back now?" Xianxia said unhappily, "Go and wash the dishes." Lin Pingping kept quiet and ignored her. Hongbin frowned deeply. "My mother is talking to you. Are you deaf?" Lin Pingping looked up at him. "Am I your family's maid?" To her recollection, Lin Pingping had never acted this way before. She had always been one to endure. If Xianxia told her to go east, she would not dare to go west. If Xianxia told her to go west, she would not dare to go east. For a moment, both Xianxia and Hongbin felt their dignity being challenged. What does Lin Pingping count as? What right does she have to throw tantrums in the Hong family's house? Hongbin angrily said, "Lin Pingping, what are you trying to do? I'm already being nice by not rejecting you with the way you are now. And you still dare to create problems. And show no respect to seniors. My mother has been tired all day. What's wrong with her asking you to wash the dishes?" Lin Pingping smiled faintly. "May I ask, was I like this on the day I married you? Hongbin, ask yourself, what have you given me in these 10 years? Have you fulfilled your duties as a husband? Has anyone in your family ever treated me like a human being?" Hongbin's brow knitted and his face was filled with disgust. If it weren't for the money, he would find it disgusting to even take a second look at Lin Pingping. Complain? What does Lin Pingping have to complain about? It was Lin Pingping who pursued him in the first place, and it was Lin Pingping who insisted on marrying him. It's not like he can't find a wife. Xianxia jumped out and cursed, "You ugly bitch, what do you mean by that? If you don't want to be in this relationship anymore, pack your things and leave the Hong family immediately. If it weren't for you insisting on marrying our Binbin back then, maybe he would have been successful by now. It's because of you, you jinx. You ungrateful bitch." Divorce, then by the shop. 3. Your Hong family? Lin Pingping turned her head to look at Xianxia, smiling. "How dare you say that? Have you forgotten that this apartment was bought with the money my aunt gave me? How does it have anything to do with your Hong family?" Xianxia was livid. How dare she? This unattractive woman now dared to speak to her this way. If she didn't show her power, Lin Pingping might actually think she was a pushover. You shameless, lowly woman. Are you planning on denying our ownership of this house? Divorce. I want a divorce right now. The Hong family doesn't need disgraceful people like you. Shen Qing held her head high, waiting for Lin Pingping to kneel and beg her. Previously, any mention of divorce would scare Lin Pingping half to death. Would Lin Pingping agree to a divorce? Never. Don't worry, even if you don't mention it, I want a divorce too. I've had it with your family. What? Lin Pingping wanted a divorce? At her words, the atmosphere in the room quiets immediately. Even Hong Yuanyang, busy reading the newspaper, put it down. Lin Pingping, do you have any idea what you're saying? Hong Bin looked at her in disbelief. Lin Pingping loved him so much, how could she possibly want a divorce? Was she running a fever? Lin Pingping enunciated every word. I said I want a divorce. This is my house, a house that I bought. I want you and your family out of here now. Beyond shameless. Has Lin Pingping no shame? Shen Qing was furious. She grabbed a broom and aimed it at Lin Pingping. This is my son's house, the Hong family's house. If anyone should leave, it's you, you slut. Get out now, get out. They had been living in this house for 10 years. How dare Lin Pingping try to take it from them? Impossible. Lin Pingping grabbed the broom and pushed hard. You old hag, you don't have the right to hit me. Shen Qing was unprepared. The Lin Pingping she knew wouldn't resist or talk back. Shen Qing fell over. Lin Pingping, how dare you do this to my mother? Hong Bin rushed over, grabbing Lin Pingping by the hair, his face twisted with rage. Good, very good. There was a mocking smile on Lin Pingping's face. At last, she saw Hong Bin's true colors. Lin Pingping, I'm giving you one last chance. Apologize to my mother immediately. Or else, this isn't over. You really think I won't dare to divorce you? In Hong Bin's eyes, Lin Pingping's demand for a divorce was nothing more than a threat to scare him. Under ordinary circumstances, he wouldn't stoop to her level. But Pingping had dared to retaliate against Shen Qing. That was unacceptable. Did she have no sense of her responsibility as a daughter-in-law? Daring to retaliate? Apologize? Why should I apologize to that old hag? Not only will I not apologize, I wish that she would die soon and be reborn. Lin Pingping gritted out. Shen Qing shrieked with rage. She's out of line. Out of line. Bin, hurry, kill this bitch. Hong Bin was beyond angry. He felt his masculinity was being trampled, grabbed Lin Pingping's hair tightly, and started bashing her head against the wall. Bang, bang, bang. Soon, Lin Pingping's head was bleeding profusely. Despite this, Shen Qing was still not satisfied. She grabbed a rolling pin from the kitchen and joined Hong Bin, as they both started punching and kicking Lin Pingping. Hong Yuanyang just stood by and watched. The noise woke up Hong Meiyue. She rolled up her sleeves and joined in the assault. Hit her, kill this damn woman. She dares to fight over our house. Disgusting. Shameless. No one in the family showed any mercy. Pain was spread across her whole body. Just then, the door was pushed open, and a few uniformed police officers walked in, like a stream of light piercing through darkness. At that moment, Lin Pingping saw hope. She shook off the punches and kicks, trying to crawl towards the police, leaving a long trail of blood on the floor. Police officer, please help me. After saying that, she fainted. Comrade, are you all right? Two female officers rushed over to help Lin Pingping. The entire Hong family was stunned. They had not anticipated that the police would suddenly show up, especially at this moment. Shen Qing was the first one to react. She laughed and said, "It's a misunderstanding. Officer, it's just a misunderstanding. We're family just having some fun." "Nobody move," a stern voice came. "We received an anonymous tip that the four of you are trying to murder someone. You're all coming with us." Divorce, then by the shop. _4. Attempting murder. Such a grave accusation, it's too heavy for anyone to bear. Hong Meiyue burst into tears instantly. "No. I didn't. I don't want to go to jail." Shen Qing was crying and making a scene, publicly throwing a tantrum. "Injustice. Oh heavens, it's really unfair. Does our own family fooling around constitute a crime? The people's police aren't fooled by Xinqing's ploy. After all, when they arrived, their family of 4 was causing harm to someone's life. Fooling around? And during this fooling around, blood was shed? 4 family members were forcibly taken away. Lin Pingping was sent to the hospital. The hospital examination results showed severe concussion, extensive soft tissue contusions all over her body, a fractured tibia, and deemed a critical first-degree injury. The 4 members of the Hong family suspected of murder were detained in the police station for investigation. When Madame Mo arrived at the hospital that night, she burst into tears, crying out that she was sorry for Lin Pingping. Lin Pingping lay on the hospital bed, wiping away tear stains from Madame Mo's face. "Auntie, I'm fine. Don't cry. It's not your fault, it's mine for not standing up for myself." If she had taken Madame Mo's words to heart back then, she wouldn't be in this situation today. Mo Qishan frowns deeply and lands a punch on the window. Where is that beast? Where is he now? The iron window frame ended up with a small dent from his punch. Lin Pingping smiles. "Qishan, don't be angry, Hong Bin and his family have been arrested. I believe that the people's police will vindicate me." "Older sister, why didn't you tell me about this earlier?" Mo Qishan turns his eyes towards Lin Pingping. Lin Pingping sighs softly, refraining from a response. Madame Mo gently pats Lin Pingping's hand. "Good girl, it's all in the past." Lin Pingping has filed a divorce lawsuit with the People's Court, producing evidence of Hong Bin's infidelity. 3 days later, news from the police station indicates that Hong Bin is sentenced to life imprisonment for attempted murder and rogue offenses. Xin Qing and Hong Meiyue, as accomplices, are sentenced to 5 years. Although Hong Yuanyang was not involved, he neither prevented it nor called the police, so he was also sentenced to a year. The court quickly passed the judgment, approving the divorce requested by Lin Pingping. All properties under both their names now belong solely to Lin Pingping. Lin Pingping lies in her hospital bed looking out at the sun, her mouth curling into a slight smile. Just like the sunshine outside, her life also gets a fresh start. Her sacrifice was certainly not in vain. Throughout her hospital stay, Lin Pingping persistently applies acne cream. Whether it's an illusion or not, she always feels that her acne has reduced quite a bit. Her complexion also isn't as red as before. Lin Pingping looks at her face in the mirror and is momentarily dumbstruck. "Pingping, it's time for dinner." Madame Mo's voice can be heard from outside the door. Even though they have a maid at home, Madame Mo insists on personally caring for Lin Pingping every day. Lin Pingping hastily puts down the acne cream, uses her crutch to get up, and heads out. "Auntie. Be careful, cousin." Mo Hudi runs over to support Lin Pingping. Lin Pingping smiles. "Cousin, I'm fine." Madame Mo hands a bowl of chicken soup to Lin Pingping. "Pingping, drink your soup first." Seeing Lin Pingping's complexion, Madame Mo looks surprised. "Pingping, have you been using some medication these days? Your complexion is improving each day." "Really?" "Of course it's true." Madame Mo nods her head. After finishing the chicken soup, Lin Pingping continues. "Auntie, actually there's something else I haven't told you yet. Half a month ago, I attempted to drown myself in the lake." "What?" Madame Mo stands up in surprise. Lin Pingping holds Madame Mo's hand and speaks softly. "Auntie, don't worry, listen to me first." Lin Pingping recounts everything to Madame Mo. Madame Mo listens with trembling heart. She never expected that Lin Pingping would actually attempt to jump into a river. Luckily, a benefactor appeared. If it weren't for this benefactor, Lin Pingping would now be. As she listened, Madame Mo sensed something was not right. She grabbed Lin Pingping's hand. "Pingping, what was the name of the girl who saved you?" "Her name is Ni Yang." "Yang." Madame Mo looks surprised. "Auntie, do you know her too?" Lin Pingping is also surprised. Divorce. Then by the shop. 5 Mo Hudi excitedly said, "Cousin, Sister Ni Yang is the one who cured me." "Is it really the same person?" Lin Pingping continued. "The Ni Yang I know. She even opened a noodle restaurant in the city." Mrs. Mo was thrilled. "It is her. It knows doubt about it. It's Yang Yang." She even prepares breakfast for me every morning. I didn't expect Yang Yang to be so kind-hearted. She is indeed the little lucky star of our family. We must find the time to thank her properly. Lin Pingping was still a little incredulous. Mrs. Mo laughed. I ask you, isn't Yang Yang really beautiful, and doesn't she have 2 dimples when she smiles? Not everyone could earn Mrs. Mo's praise for being beautiful. Moreover, dimples are rare. You might meet one in 10,000 people. Lin Pingping nodded, excitedly said, Yes, yes, yes. Aunt, we are really talking about the same person. At the moment, the niece and nephew praised Ni Yang from head to toe without hesitation. In the noodle restaurant, Ni Yang, who was busy wiping the table, inexplicably felt her ears burning. She touched her ear, it was a little hot. Wang Jinfang teased her, Yang Yang, if your ears are hot, someone must be thinking of you. Ni Yang laughed and said, Aunt Jinfang, all you know is joking with me. Why don't you say someone is scolding me? Wang Jinfang said, Yang, whoever dares to scold you, your Aunt Jinfang will be the first to not let them go. At that moment, the door was pushed open, and a tall and straight figure came in from outside. Wang Jinfang gave Zhou Qingshang a wink, and the two tacitly turned and went into the back kitchen. Brother Mo. Seeing the figure, Ni Yang walked over with a smile. Yang Yang. Mo Qishan was almost blinded by the 2 shallow dimples. His wife seemed to be more and more beautiful. It's all right for her to look good. Why are even her dimples so charming? Mo Qishan followed Ni Yang in. Looking at Ni Yang's back, he cooled off a bit. Brother Mo, sit. Ni Yang pulled out a chair. Thank you. Mo Qishan bent over to sit down, took out several cups from his bag. Yang Yang, these are the disposable paper cups you asked for last time, a few samples brought by my friend. Check if this is what you need. 4 paper cups in total. All were made according to Ni Yang's design, but the material and thickness were different. Ni Yang picked up 4 cups for comparison, then pointed to one of them and asked, How much is this one, Brother Mo? This question. Mo Qishan really hadn't thought about it. 3 for a penny. Mo Qishan hesitated a moment, then replied. After all, they are just disposable items. It would be unreasonable if they were too expensive. This price should be pretty fair, right? Is it so cheap? Ni Yang was a little surprised. Although disposable paper cups are indeed not expensive and have a low cost, the current technology in the country is still immature. Not many people can produce this type of paper cup. The price should be a bit more expensive. After all, rarity makes a thing precious. Ni Yang speculated that one had to import equipment to make them. Mo Qishan laughed. Is it still cheap? I was intending on bargaining with you. Don't think the paper cup is hard to make in other factories. But at my friend's, there is hardly any difficulty at all. As the saying goes, no cheater, no merchant. Are you worried that he will lose money? That seems to make sense. Ni Yang went on to say, Then Brother Mo, could you help me order 10,000 of them? Mo Qishan nodded. Okay, remember, if I'm not around in the future, you can call this number to have them deliver. He handed Ni Yang a piece of paper with a phone number. Then I'll pay you first. Ni Yang took out 4 large notes and handed them to Mo Qishan. Mo Qishan laughed and said, Well, take care of that when they arrive. There's no need to rush. By the way, Yang Yang, when do you plan to want them? Ni Yang replied, No rush for time, just whenever they're finished. Mo Qishan nodded, Okay. After discussing the important matters, Ni Yang continued, You sit and rest for a while, brother, I'll bring you something to eat. Okay. Mo Qishan couldn't help but touch his chin. Could it be that his wife really regarded him as a little girl? Before long, Ni Yang brought out a tray with milk tea and other snacks. Divorce, then by the shop. _6. The two sat at the table, chatting while they ate. Oh, Yang Yang, I forgot to tell you that I bought a house. Is it in Beijing? Ni Yang raised her eyebrows slightly. Yeah. Mo Qishan nodded. I plan to keep it as a dowry. Ni Yang continued, Brother Mo, if you really want to keep it as a dowry, I suggest that you should buy a house near Donghucheng River. Donghucheng River is located on the second ring road in the future. In her future memories, houses within the second ring road in Beijing sold for more than tens of thousands of yuan per square meter. Ordinary people couldn't afford such a house in their lifetime. But at this time, no one wanted houses within the second ring road. The price per unit was only 100 yuan per square meter. It was 4 or 5 times cheaper than a commercial property. Yang also planned to buy several houses along the second ring road once her business started to stabilize. Mo Qishan laughed. It looks like I need to work harder to make money. Otherwise, I won't be able to afford a wife. Yang lifted her cup of milk tea towards him. Let's work hard together. Mo Qishan clinked his cup with hers. Cheers to that. After leaving the noodle restaurant, Mo Qishan rode away on his bicycle, disappearing around the corner. When he reappeared, he was sitting in the back seat of a high-end car. Darning, go to the sales office. Wu Darning trembled. Brother Six, you're buying another house? Hadn't he bought enough last time? Mo Qishan took out a cigarette from his pocket and lit it slowly. Last time, I bought a house near People's University. This time, I plan to buy a few near Donghuching River. Finished speaking, Mo Qishan added, the current house price near Donghuching River is 100 yuan per square meter. Do you want to buy one too? Wu Darning immediately shook his head. No, I've already sent my money back to my hometown for my parents to build a new house. Mo Qishan nodded. Wu Darning tentatively asked, by the way, is this house purchase also your sister-in-law's idea? Mo Qishan slowly exhaled a puff of smoke. Wu Darning glanced at Mo Qishan through the rearview mirror. He sighed softly. Why did such a smart man become stupid when he met a young girl? A moment later, Mo Qishan continued. The design for the disposable paper cups has been confirmed by your sister-in-law. You can arrange for it to go into production in the next few days. Just make sure someone keeps a close eye on it. Wu Darning nodded. All right. At around 7 in the evening, Yang started her end-of-day tasks. Zhou Qingshang and Wang Jinfang were cleaning inside, while Yang was cleaning up the trash outside. As she swept, a few banknotes fell to the ground. Money falling from the sky. Yang looked up and saw a middle-aged woman passing by. She quickly picked up the money and caught up. Auntie, wait a moment. The middle-aged woman stopped. Young lady, what's the matter? Auntie, did you drop this money? The middle-aged woman didn't immediately reach for the money, but felt in her pocket, then said, It's mine. Thank you, young lady. You're welcome. Yang handed her the money. Take care. The middle-aged woman took the money, surprised. Hey, aren't you the young boss from the noodle restaurant next door? Yang gave a slight smile. My name is Yang. Do you know me? The middle-aged woman laughed. I run the stationery shop next door. Yang said, So we are neighbors. Would you like to sit for a while at my place? When it comes to doing business, maintaining a good relationship with your neighbors is crucial. The middle-aged woman went on. Actually, we're moving out in a few days. As a matter of fact, we're selling our shop. Selling? Yang continued. Auntie, can I take a look? The middle-aged woman nodded. Sure, young lady, come with me. Yang followed the middle-aged woman's steps. Auntie, you can just call me Yang. The two arrived at the shop next door, and the middle-aged woman turned on the lights. The shop was not very big, only about 20 square meters. There was a counter at the front, and inside there was a small table and a bed. Through the middle-aged woman's introduction, Yang learned that her name was Wang Xueme, 45 years old. She and her husband had been running the stationery shop for 7 or 8 years. Because their son was living abroad permanently, the old couple planned to sell the shop and go abroad to take care of their son. Divorce, then buy the shop. 7 Wang Xueme continued, Yang, if you really want to buy it, Auntie won't haggle with you. My place is small, just 22 square meters. I don't need the things inside. Give me 10,000 yuan for everything. The store that Yang bought was priced at 580 yuan per square meter. 22 square meters should be around 12,760 yuan by the normal price. For Yang, this was equivalent to a pie falling from the sky. Importantly, the two stores were conjoined, which would be convenient for management later on. And Yang nodded. Okay, Aunt Wang, whenever you are free, let's get the contract signed. Yang, are you really taking it? Wang Xuemei was somewhat surprised. That was quick. She didn't even negotiate the price. Quite a few people had come to see Wang Zuimai's shop, but they all complained that the price was too high. The shop was second-hand and they always offered a lower price, so it hadn't been sold yet. Some people even brought the price down to 5,000 yuan. And Yang said with a smile, "Yes, I'm serious. If you don't trust me, I can pay you a deposit first." Wang Xuemei, excited, grabbed Yang's hand. Yang, you're not joking with Auntie, are you? Auntie, do I look like I'm joking? Wang Xuemei continued. How about we sign the contract at noon tomorrow? Okay, and Yang nodded. I'm fine, you and Uncle decide whenever it's convenient for you. Wang Xuemei laughed and said, all right, then it's settled. After this was settled, Wang Xuemei laughed and took Yang next door. Yang said, Auntie, please wait a moment. Wang Xuemei was initially stunned, then she nodded, all right. Yang came out quickly. She was holding a glass bottle with brown liquid in it. Auntie, this is milk tea I made. Take it back and let Uncle try it. Wang Xuemei accepted with a smile. Yang, then I want stand on ceremony. Yang smiled slightly. No need to be polite. When she got home, Yang told Cuihua about buying the shop. Cuihua expressed her concerns. Yang, your noodle restaurant just opened, will you be able to handle it? And buying a shop must cost a lot of money, right? Now with just one shop, Yang was leaving home around 3 o'clock every morning. If she opened another shop, wouldn't Yang be overwhelmed? Yang was only 17 this year, and kids her age from ordinary families hadn't worked this hard before. Cuihua was really worried about her. Yang said with a smile, don't worry about the money. As for whether I can handle it, we can hire someone. There are so many people in the village, there has to be someone suitable. Hearing what Yang said, Cuihua was relieved. If we're hiring, I think Gooden's mom and Zaiwa's mom are pretty good. Yang nodded. Okay, after I pay the money tomorrow and finalize the deal, I'll go discuss it with Gooden's mom and Zaiwa's mom. Oh, Mom, how's the aloe harvest these days? Cuihua replied, now it's winter, and the aloe doesn't pup anymore. Everyone went to the mountains to find it. Yesterday, they brought about 20 jin in total. Okay, Mom, remember, no matter how much aloe they bring, we take it all. Don't worry about stockpiling. Cuihua nodded her head. These days, Cuihua has learned how to make face wash and aloe gel, so she can pretty much handle all of the skincare product making, and Yang doesn't need to worry about it. Yang played with little Yun for a while, then went to the kitchen to cook. First, she took out some beef bone that was bought yesterday, and half of an old mother chicken. After washing them and parboiling, she put them in the casserole to make soup. With seasonings like green onions, ginger, and star anise added in, the aroma soon filled the air. Yang went to wash some greens, tofu skin, mushrooms, and meatballs. While the soup was simmering, Yang prepared 3 appetizers that were good for beauty and skin nourishment. About an hour and a half later, the kitchen was filled with a fragrant aroma. After the soup was done, Yang started to blanch the rice noodles. She put the blanched rice noodles in a large bowl, layered cooked greens, tofu skin, meatballs, and so on, then sprinkled some green onions, chopped garlic, and cilantro, and finally poured in the well-cooked soup. If you like spicy food, you can add a spoonful of chili pepper. A comforting bowl of rice noodles was ready. The rice noodles were chewy and full of taste. When you bite into it, the delicious flavor of the beef bone soup and the chicken soup infused in the rice noodles is irresistible. When Yang eats rice noodles, she likes to roll them up with chopsticks. It's quite satisfying to bite into a mouthful, and the taste of the rich and flavorful soup after finishing the noodles is unspeakably delicious. Yang squinted her eyes in satisfaction, showing a slight dimple on her cheek. Besides the busy times every day, this was probably her happiest time. Chinga ate a large bowl and then scooped up half a bowl more. Yang, these rice noodles taste really good. He absolutely loved it. Cuihua also had 2 bowls of it. With Ni Yang's beauty recipes, they were not afraid of gaining weight. After dinner, Ni Chengui did the dishes. Ni Zihua put Ni Yun to bed, and Ni Yang was sent to rest. With nothing to do, Ni Yang went back to her room and counted the money she had earned these days. She was originally planning to deposit this money in the bank tomorrow, but an unexpected opportunity fell into her lap. Ni Yang counted and found out that her savings now totaled 15,896 yuan. She had more than 4,000 yuan when the noodle restaurant opened, and the remaining 800 yuan was earned from selling skincare products these days. In other words, the turnover of the noodle restaurant has reached 10,000 yuan in just 8 days. But after paying for the shop tomorrow, her savings will be back to square one. It's okay. Once the milk tea shop opens, her turnover is likely to double. When the money keeps rolling in, her business can grow bigger and bigger. Ni Yang sorted out 10,000 yuan and put it in her wallet. The next morning, Ni Yang went out early. At lunch break, Ni Yang went to the neighboring shop with the money. Wang Zuimai's husband, Zhao Xing, like Wang Xueme, is also an honest man. Seeing Ni Yang coming, he quickly began to make tea and take out sunflower seeds for her. Ni Yang laughed and said, "Uncle, you don't have to fuss." Wang Xueme said, just let him. We'll chat while drinking tea in a moment. By the way, Yang, the milk tea you gave us last night was really tasty. Much better than the big pear soda sold outside. Became the favorite in the village, found out about Li Xianxian's background under one forget about pear soda, even Hua and Jianlibo drinks don't taste as good as the milk tea made by Ni Yang. No wonder Ni Yang's noodle restaurant has such a long queue every day. It turns out the food and beverages are that delicious. If it were her, she would be willing to queue every day. Zhao Xing came over, handed the brewed tea to Ni Yang. "Yang, have some tea." "Thank you, uncle." Ni Yang stood up, took the teacup with both hands and thanked him. Zhao Xing discreetly took a good look at this young lady, full of admiration. Despite her young age, her manners, conduct, and courtesy all surpassed any adult standards. How many other children would know to receive a teacup with both hands? And to stand up to give thanks? Although it's just a simple action, it embodies the 5,000-year-old history of tea etiquette in China. This little girl is destined for big things in the future. Ni Yang took a sip from her teacup, then put it down on the table. Wang Xuanyi added, "Yang, although my shop is small in size, it's really well located and warm in winter, cool in summer. It's not only good for business, but also for living. If it weren't for us going abroad, your uncle and I would hate to sell it." Ni Yang continued, "Actually, you could consider renting out the shop. By the time you and uncle decide to come back, you could reclaim it." Even though she really wanted to buy the shop, she wasn't going to force anyone. Trades like these require satisfaction from both parties. Wang Xueme smiled. "This trip abroad might be permanent for us. Our son has strictly instructed us to settle everything domestically before leaving." Ni Yang nodded. Wang Xueme then brought out the contract. "Yang, we have prepared the contract. If there are no issues, we can sign it." The contract was produced in duplicate. Ni Yang took one, skimmed it carefully. After confirming there were no issues, she signed her name. Her autograph was bold and free, clean and forceful. It didn't look like a young teenage girl's handwriting at all. Zhao Sheng's 25-year-old son was an international student in M country. Even he couldn't write such good handwriting. Zhao Sheng kept his copy of the contract and said, "Yang, if you're tight on money, you can first pay us 5,000 yuan. The remainder can be transferred to us via bank after we leave the country." Wang Xueme nodded. "Yes, Yang, don't worry about the money. Your uncle and I are in no great rush for it." The couple knew that Ni Yang was just a little girl who was struggling on her own. They would never be this lenient with anyone else. Since Ni Yang didn't look like someone who would default on payments, they trusted her. Ni Yang smiled. "Thank you, uncle. Thank you, auntie. However, I do have just enough money right now. I would prefer to pay everything up front to avoid any future hassles." On hearing this, the couple was taken aback. This was not a small amount. They had scrimped and saved for many years to put aside a little over 100,000 yuan. Anai Yang had only been running her business for a few days and she had already made this much money? Moreover, this little lady was dressed simply, one would have never guessed she had 10,000 yuan on her. Anai Yang took out the money from her bag and handed it to Wang Xueme. "Auntie, please count." The couple was momentarily stunned before they took the money from Anai Yang. A stack of 10,000 yuan, neatly wrapped in a handkerchief. The handkerchief had a faint fragrance. From this detail alone, one can tell that the owner of the handkerchief is meticulous. After counting the money and confirming that there were no issues, they handed Anai Yang the keys to the house. "Yang, from now on, this house is yours. If you can sell any of the stationery in the house, sell them. Throw away the things that you can't sell. We will accompany you to do the transfer of ownership tomorrow, as we will be leaving the day after." Anai Yang took the keys. "Uncle and Auntie, I wish you a smooth journey." Wang Xueme smiled, "And we wish you prosperous business and a bright future." Anai Yang gratefully accepted their good wishes with a smile. Became the favorite in the village, found out about Li Xianxian's background understood. The following day, Zhao Sheng and his wife, Wang Xueme, accompanied Anai Yang to the local housing bureau to handle the property transfer formalities on time. The property transfer process went very smoothly. After returning from the housing bureau, Anai Yang stood in front of the shop, the corners of her mouth curling slightly. The warm winter sun seeped through the leaves, evenly illuminating her and casting a golden glow on her. Tranquil, ethereal. Under her presence, all the pedestrians and vehicle on the street became mere backdrop. "Slow down," said a man in the back seat of the car, suddenly. "Oh, okay." Li Gongqing carefully slowed down. "This is where Anai Yang opened her noodle restaurant?" The man spoke again. Li Gongqing replied, "Yes, second master. Xiaoni currently runs a noodle shop here." "Park the car," the man continued. Li Gongqing immediately pulled over to park. As soon as the car stopped, the man got out of the car. "I'll step out for a moment, you wait in the car." Li Gongqing looked at the man through the rearview mirror and respectfully said, "Okay, second master." The man was none other than Song Beiqing. Ever since his extravagant invitation was rejected by Anai Yang, Song Beiqing had been quite interested in this young girl. He even once suspected that Anai Yang was employing a clever tactic of retreat for advancement. But after a long wait, he did not see any further moves from Anai Yang. Song Beiqing considered himself insightful towards people, but he could not see through Anai Yang. This young girl, deep and unpredictable. Song Beiqing casually adjusted his tie, his eyes hidden behind his glasses. The golden rim of his glasses reflected a sharp light in the sun, seemingly oblivious to the closed sign hanging on the door. Without a second thought, he pushed open the glass door and entered. Anai Yang was checking accounts at the counter. Hearing the noise, she raised her eyes slightly and said, "Sorry, we are closed now. If you want to eat noodles, please come back at 2:30 in the afternoon." "Wait, why does this man look familiar?" Anai Yang quietly furrowed her brows. Song Beiqing quirked the corner of his lips. "Miss Anai seems to have a forgetful memory. Even I am forgotten?" Meanwhile, there was a hint of disappointment in Song Beiqing's heart. Any woman who saw him would do everything possible to please him or be preoccupied with him. Anai Yang, on the contrary, put him behind her mind directly. It was only then that Anai Yang reacted and smiled, "Mr. Song." So she still remembers him. Song Beiqing carried on as usual. "Do you need anything from me?" Anai Yang continued to ask. Anai Yang had no good impression of Song Beiqing. This man was simply the embodiment of a capitalist, thinking he could do whatever he wanted because he was rich, overbearing, and autocratic. Song Beiqing casually found a spot and sat down. "I don't need anything from Miss Anai. I'm here to eat noodles." He was curious to see how good these noodles were, praised so much by Granny Mo. Anai Yang pointed to the sign hanging outside the door and asked with a smile, "Mr. Song, can't you read?" The sign clearly stated closed. Song Beiqing smiled lightheartedly. "Miss Anai is correct, I really don't know how to read." Anai Yang raised her eyebrows slightly. "Well, Mr. Song, you can at least understand human speech, right?" Song Beiqing nodded. "Miss Anai is indeed intelligent and bright." No wonder my grandmother likes you so much. I really don't understand human speech. And Yang nearly choked on her own saliva. She'd met shameless people before, but she'd never met anyone as shameless as Song Beiqing. Such profound skills. She decided to consider him as someone who needed special care. Wait here, and Yang glanced at Song Beiqing once more before walking towards the kitchen. Wait a moment, Song Beiqing spoke again. And Yang stopped in her tracks. Song Beiqing continued, Miss you're not being professional. You didn't even ask the customer for dietary restrictions. And Yang gave a slight smile and said word by word, May first ask if you have any dietary restrictions? Song Beiqing replied, I don't eat onions, ginger, or garlic. I like a lot of cilantro and a cup of milk tea. It sounded like he was really here for a meal. And Yang nodded, all right, please wait for a moment. A moment later, Yang brought a bowl of delicious pickled vegetable noodles and a cup of creamy and delightful milk tea. The sour, spicy, and savory smell of sour fish hooked onto Song Beiqing's appetite instantly. Head had the finest banquet dishes and dined at overseas Michelin restaurants, but he couldn't help himself from thinking at this moment that neither the distinguished banquet dishes nor the Michelin restaurants could stack up against the aroma of the bowl of noodles in front of him. Became the favorite in the village, found out about Li Xianxian's background as initially, he only wanted to tease Yang, but now, he was impatient to have a taste of the noodles. Song Beiqing picked up the chopsticks, picked up a few strands of noodles and put them in his mouth. The taste that met his tongue made him close his eyes contentedly. It was tangy and crispy, addictively delicious. At this point, he started to understand why Granny Mo enjoyed these noodles so much. Because the taste was just too amazing. Before he knew it, Song Beiqing had finished a large bowl of noodles, even forgetting his own neat freak tendencies. Satisfying his craving for the noodles wasn't enough, Song Beiqing drank all of the noodle soup as well. At this moment, Song Beiqing was utterly conquered by the delightful food. Where was the decorum of Mr. Song? After finishing the noodle soup, Song Beiqing realized that he hadn't touched the milk tea next to him, so he picked up the cup and took a sip. The taste of the milk tea did not disappoint him either. Men usually didn't take a liking to sweet things, but this milk tea was different. It had the refreshing bitterness of tea and the richness of milk. Combined together, it was simply a pleasant surprise to the taste buds. Miss Song Beiqing looked up at Yang. Are you really not considering my previous invitation? This time, Song Beiqing was genuinely sincere. He really was smitten by Yang's culinary skills. Yang smiled lightly. Does Boss Song have amnesia? Song Beiqing continued, I'll give you $1 million salary. As he said this, he held up 2 fingers. 2 million. Really throwing his money around. The girl looked so beautiful, and her cooking was excellent. Bringing her back for 2 million wouldn't be a loss for him. Yang was silent, continuing to play with the abacus under her fingertips. 2.5 million? 3 million? 3,100,000? All that answered Song Beiqing was the click-clack of the abacus beads. Song Beiqing slightly raised an eyebrow. Could it be that she was calculating how much money she could make in 2 years, 3 years? He knew it. No one could resist the allure of money. Even Yang, who professed to be self-reliant, couldn't refuse this astronomical sum. No need to calculate, Song Beiqing continued. 1 year is 3.01 million, 2 years is 6.02 million, 3 years is 9.03 million, 10 years is 31 million. But Yang acted as if she hadn't heard Song Beiqing's words, continuing to play with her abacus. Why wasn't she speaking? Song Beiqing frowned. Could she have been scared dumb by these large figures? Indeed, her bowl of noodles only sells for 3 cents a pop. She'd have to sell 100 million bowls of noodles to earn back 31 million. 100 million bowls of noodles, enough for her to sell for a lifetime. Song Beiqing chuckled. Miss why aren't you speaking? Don't worry, Song, don't have many good qualities, but one never go back on my word, since I promised a salary of 3.01 million, I will definitely keep it. If you. Just then, Yang slightly lifted her head, interrupting Song Biqing's unfinished words. Mr. Song, one know you're filthy rich and could easily rival a country's wealth. If you're really worried about having too much cash on your hands, there are still many impoverished areas in China waiting for your kind donations, so could you stop toying with me? This person really has issues. Song Biqing thought she seriously believed he was just making fun of her, and quickly clarified, Miss and I'm serious, I'm not making fun of you. Is 3 million that much? When had he ever spent less than 3 million on a woman? And Yang laughed. If our paths do not cross, we do not become conspirators, Mr. Song. If you've finished your food, could you leave quickly? One planned to take a noon break. She refused again. And Yang actually refused him again. But this time, Song Biqing wasn't planning to back down. He didn't believe that Yang would really give up the 3 million. Song Biqing stood up, faced Yang, and spoke slowly, Miss and I only give one chance, I hope you don't regret it. When his sentence ended, Song Biqing turned and walked away. The clear lens of his glasses concealed well all the emotions in his eyes. Simultaneously, Song Biqing was silently counting to 3 in his heart. He believed that by the time he counted to 3, she would definitely call out to stop him. Because he really knew women too well. Just as he thought, when he finished counting 2, Yang caught up with his steps. Wait! A small smile tugged at Song Biqing's lips. He pushed his glasses up and turned to look at Yang. He was about to chide her, but Yang stretched out her hand and spoke before him, Boss Song, if you can afford a salary of 3.01 million, surely you wouldn't mind paying the 60 cents for the noodles? Chapter 218. Became the favorite in the village, found out about Li Xianxian's background _4. What? And Yang came to ask him for the bill? This development seems off, doesn't it? Could it be that Yang didn't regret it and came to catch up with him? Song Biqing was dumbfounded. What's the matter? Yang looked at Song Biqing and continued, You're not planning on dining and dashing, are you, Mr. Song? A shallow dimple appeared at the corner of her mouth, and her bright peach blossom eyes, mischievous like a cat's, caused Song Biqing to become transfixed. Mr. Song. Yang spoke again. Song Biqing finally snapped out of it and took out a large unity note from his pocket. No need for change. Yang fished out some spare change from her pocket and forced it into Song Biqing's hand. Don't worry, Mr. Song, we are not some kind of black shop. Song Biqing looked at Yang. Yang, you really don't regret it? Yang made a pleased gesture. Mr. Song, take care. Song Biqing took a step forward. Yang, I will never give you a second chance, are you sure? Yang firmly shut the door. Through the glass door, Song Biqing saw her immediately turn around and go into the kitchen. She didn't even look back at him. Song Biqing narrowed his eyes, and through the lens of his glasses, a sharp glint flashed in his eyes. Is it that there really are people in this world who don't love money, or was his offer not enough? 3 million, it really wasn't a small amount. This girl had shattered the image of other girls had known before. Song Biqing held the money in his hand, maintaining his usual expression while returning to his car. Shall we, let's go. Without saying anything more, Li Gongqing naturally didn't dare to ask any questions. The car quickly departed from the avenue lined with Chinese parasol trees. Yang went into the kitchen and told Zhou Qingshang and Wang Jinfang about purchasing the adjacent shop. Aunt Zhou and Jinfang, the previous owner, left some old furniture and daily necessities behind in the neighboring shop. Go have a look and see if there's anything you can use. If there is, feel free to take it with you when you head home later. Wang Jinfang wiped her hands on her apron, looking a bit embarrassed. Yang, don't you want them? Zhou Qingshang also said, Yes, Yang, keep them for yourself. Yang laughed and said, We bought new pots, bowls, and dishes when we moved, so it would be a waste to bring more back. Come on, I'll take you there. At this time, life in the countryside was not easy. Even scraps of old cloth could be put to use, not to mention pots, bowls, and dishes. Wang Jinfang and Zhou Qingshang happily took several daily necessities they could use. This family must have been so rich. They left behind so many good things. Yeah, I see many items are still brand new. People in the city are rich. While taking stuff, the two marveled. Yang saw that besides daily necessities, pots and pans, there were also a lot of unopened stationery and school bags. She found 2 snake skin bags to pack all the school bags and stationery. After she finished cleaning the room, it was time to open for business. Yang began to get busy again. When she came home that night, she showed Zuehua the stationery and school bags she had brought back. Zuehua said, Yang, let me pick a nice little school bag for Yun. Then, give the rest to the other children in the village. It's a waste to keep them at home. Yang smiled and said, Mom, you're thinking what I'm thinking. Yang called Gooden over, who then called other kids to come. In no time, NI's small courtyard was bustling with children. At that time, the school bags that the children used were made by their grandparents or mothers. They were simple designs, made by splicing scraps of cloth into a bag and attaching a strap. As long as they could carry it on their shoulders, it was enough. Having a backpack like the ones in their textbooks was a dream many children yearned for. Wow, this school bag is beautiful, just like the ones I saw in the city. Thank you, Sister Yang. Sister Yang, you're so kind. Tutu Yang laughed. In addition to the school bags, Sister Yang also wants to give each of you a pencil box, 3 pencils, and an eraser. But, she paused here, you have to promise Sister Yang one thing. Sister Yang, tell us. Chapter 219 became the favorite in the village, found out about Li Xianxian's background as Yang continued. You must promise Sister Yang, study hard, strive for progress every day, and become a useful person in the future. Gooden scratched his head in puzzlement. Sister Yang, why do we need to study hard? If we don't study hard, does it mean we won't be a useful person in the future? With a slight smile, Yang squatted down and looked into Gooden's eyes. Studying hard will grant you the power to choose your future, to choose meaningful and liberating work rather than being forced to survive. When you feel your job is meaningful, you will feel accomplished. When your job leaves you time to live your life, you will have dignity. Accomplishment and dignity bring you happiness. A meaningful job makes you a useful person. Rather puzzled, Gooden nodded. All right, I'll take Sister Yang's advice, and I will study hard and strive for progress every day. Although Gooden didn't entirely understand her words, he knew that following Sister Yang's advice couldn't go wrong. Yang reached out and touched Gooden's little head. The other children seriously responded, Don't worry, Sister Yang, we will all study hard and become useful people in the future. We'll earn a lot of money to buy a lot of delicious food and fun things for Sister Yang. In this era, many scrumptious and fun things are unattainable dreams for these children. Even though they don't currently have the ability, they can't wait to dedicate the best things to Yang. After distributing the backpacks and stationery to the children, Yang went to Zhou Qingshang's house to discuss the decoration of the new store with Wang Tiniu. Yang said, Uncle Tiniu, let's hire the same guys as last time, the wages and construction period remain the same. Yang took out the money and placed it on the table. Wang Tiniu stood up and said, According to your aunt, this shop is half the size of the last one. It doesn't require that many days or that many people. Yang laughed and said, Let's just stick to this arrangement. The new year is coming, and I hope that we all can earn a little extra to have a good time. There isn't much farming work in winter. Everyone, apart from those still hunting for aloe vera on the mountain, is idle at home. However, with the aloe vera supply nearly exhausted, this money from Yang is like timely rainfall relieving many people's pressing needs. This money would undoubtedly make everyone's new year more prosperous. With this, they would have prestige when visiting friends and relatives. Wang Tiniu held Yang's hand, emotionally saying, Yang, on behalf of everyone, I want to thank you. Yang smiled lightly, Uncle Tiniu, you're earning the money in exchange for your labor, there is no need to thank me. After sorting out these matters, Yang left the Wang family. Wang Tiniu, on the other hand, went around spreading the good news. In the village, each house is adjacent to the other. At this moment, everyone was coming out, standing at their door discussing something quietly. Yang is such a good girl, She has helped us so much. They've been living in our village for such a long time now. Shouldn't we also try and help them? Exactly, Lu Laolu, you seldom speak wisely, but you certainly did this time. So how can we help them? Let's help them apply for a residential plot. Let them become bona fide residents of our village. I think that's reasonable too. How about we all head to the village council tomorrow? There's strength in numbers. We can definitely secure a residential plot for Yang Yang's family. Lu Laolu, you should take the lead. Okay. Lu Laolu patted his chest. Tomorrow noon at 12:00, one will go door to door. None of you can back out. Anyone who does is a coward. With the way you're talking, how could we possibly back out of this? Everyone discussed and swiftly settled the matter. At this moment, Ni Yang was cooking at home, oblivious of the villagers' actions. The next day during lunchtime, Ni Yang found time to visit the detective agency. Upon seeing Ni Yang arrive, Xiaozhou greeted her immediately, "Miss Ni." Ni Yang nodded in acknowledgement. Dispensing with the small talk, she went straight to the point. "How's the investigation coming along?" Xiaozhou beamed. "Miss Ni, rest assured, the detectives in our agency are as good as their reputation." Chapter 220 became the favorite in the village, found out about Li Xianxian's background _6. Ni Yang handed over the prepared 500 yuan. "This is the final payment." Xiaozhou took the money and pointed to a chair. "Miss Ni, please sit down. Let me explain everything to you slowly." Ni Yang leaned forward to sit down. Xiaozhou poured a cup of tea for Ni Yang. "Thank you." Ni Yang picked up the cup and took a gentle sip. Xiaozhou looked at Ni Yang, sighing inwardly. A beauty is a beauty, even her tea-drinking gesture is beautiful. Xiaozhou was momentarily distracted before transitioning into the main topic. "The Li Shu you asked me to investigate last time is a rustic from Haiqing City. At 18 she was pregnant before getting married to a local thug named Sun Shiwu. At 19 she gave birth to a daughter named Sun Dalian. But Sun Shiwu is addicted to gambling, so Li Shu's married life was unhappy. 3 years ago, Li Shu suddenly ran away with her 17-year-old daughter Sun Dalian. According to our investigation, she is now married to a man from Dam Village, with the surname of Mu. She just had a son not long ago. But her daughter Sun Dalian seems to have disappeared from the face of the earth." Upon hearing this, Ni Yang slightly narrowed her eyes. So, Li Shu really had a daughter. How much truth had she missed in her previous life? What about Li Xianxian? Ni Yang continued to ask. Xiaozhou continued, "Li Xianxian is 20 years old this year and is currently studying at Beijing Institute of Technology. According to her school registration records, she is an orphan who grew up in an orphanage. Oh, by the way, a year ago, while she was in school, she displayed her bravery by helping the old lady Mo who had been robbed, even saving her life. So, Miss and I advise you not to set your sights on Li Xianxian. The Mo family isn't someone we can afford to offend." Ni Yang maintained her composure, asking, "Do you have Sun Shiwa's specific address?" "Yes." Xiaozhou nodded and handed Ni Yang a document bag. "In here is Sun Shiwa's family situation as well as his detailed address." "Thank you." Ni Yang reached out and took it. Xiaozhou smiled and said, "You're welcome, it's our duty." Ni Yang's gaze swept over Xiaoza's features, then she said, "Mr. Zhou, have you been losing your appetite and suffering from insomnia recently?" Yes. Xiaozhou immediately nodded. "Miss Ni, how did you know?" Ni Yang gave a faint smile. "I happen to know a bit of traditional Chinese medicine." Xiaozhou asked, "Then Miss Ni, is there any hope for my situation?" He had been suffering from insomnia for a long time, causing him to be lifeless for any work. He had visited the hospital several times and was given many sleeping pills by Western doctors. Initially, a few sleeping pills worked, but gradually, even sleeping pills didn't work. Ni Yang said with a smile, "It's not that serious. In your case, you just need to buy some sour jujube kernels from the pharmacy, use 15 to 30 grams each time, crush it and boil with water until it becomes a paste. Drink it before bed every night." Xiaozhou exclaimed in surprise, "Is it that simple?" Does this really work? Ni Yang nodded. It's that simple. Ni Yang isn't a talkative person, and she wouldn't have given advice for such a small problem. However, Xiaozhou is a detective, and he knows many things ordinary people don't. Building a good relationship with a detective isn't easy, and this was a perfect opportunity. An opportunity to win people's hearts. The wider her social circle gets, the more people she can approach when she encounters difficulties in the future. Of course, whether to believe it or not is up to Xiaozhou. As soon as she finished speaking, Ni Yang took her stuff and left. Watching her leaving figure, Xiaozhou scratched his head in confusion. In the evening, when he passed by a traditional Chinese medicine store on his way home, he couldn't help but recall Ni Yang's words. Anyway, buying some sour jujube kernels was not that tough. Let's buy some then. What if it really works? When Xiaozhou came out of the traditional Chinese medicine store again, he had an extra bag of sour jujube kernels in his hand. That night Ni Yang lay in her bed, thinking about the matters regarding Li Shu, Sun Dalian, and Li Xianxia. She now has a bold hypothesis. If Sun Dalian is Li Xianxia and Li Xianxia is Sun Dalian, then the mother-daughter relationship between Li Xianxia and Li Shu would hold true. The reason why she was tricked by the Mu family into marrying an eunuch was also orchestrated by Li Shu. And in her previous life, the person she saw at the moment of death was Li Xianxia. Could this mean that Li Xianxia, like herself, had also been reborn? Except, Li Xianxia had already been reborn in her previous life. Moreover, the reason for Li Shu's marriage to the Mu family was also because Li Xianxia wanted to keep herself in check. Chapter 221 became the favorite in the village, found out about Li Xianxian's background. 7 After all, this mother-daughter duo were both hoping to see her dead. With that thought, Ni Yang sat up on her bed with a start, like a carp leaping up from water. She grabbed the glass on her nightstand and gulped down a large mouthful of water. What was Li Xianxian's motive to harm her? In her previous life, she had barely any direct contact with Li Xianxia. Li Xianxia, Ni Yang squinted her eyes, a glimmer of light flashing in her pupils. Right, wasn't Li Xianxia most concerned about the Mo family? Then she will first dismantle the Mo family's trust in her. A fox, after all, will show its tail one day. Air. A shrill scream tore through the silence of the early morning. What's wrong? What's wrong? Ping Ping, what's wrong? The old Mrs. Mo pushed open the door, rushing into Lin Pingping's room with anxiety. Ever since Lin Pingping was discharged from the hospital, she had moved into the Mo family's villa. Auntie, look at my face. Lin Pingping was so excited she was beside herself. Under the light, Lin Pingping's face was glowing, perfectly blending shades of white and pink. There wasn't a single pimple or even a pimple mark in sight. Her skin was soft and smooth like tofu. It's better. It's better. Old Mrs. Mo covered her mouth in astonishment, her voice trembling. Ping Ping, your face is better. Lin Pingping jumped up in joy. Auntie, I'm healed. My face is finally healed. The aunt and niece embraced, crying, Ping Ping, your pain has finally turned sweet. Lin Pingping's voice choked up, unable to say anything. After a while, she finally said, all thanks to Yang Yang. Without her, I would never have today. Had it not been for Ni Yang saving her, for Ni Yang awakening her, for Ni Yang generously giving her the acne cream, Lin Pingping could not even imagine where she would be now. Perhaps she would already be a corpse at the bottom of a lake. Even if she had lucidly survived, she might still be the servant of the Hong family. Ni Yang was like a beacon of light guiding her way in life. Without Ni Yang, she would still be lost in the darkness. Old Mrs. Mo gave a long sigh. Yang Yang is a lucky star for our family. I hope that number 6 can show some spirit, put forth some effort, and marry Yang Yang home early. Upon hearing this, Lin Pingping looked surprised. Auntie, are you saying that number 6 likes Yang Yang? Yang Yang is such a beautiful girl, said old Mrs. Mo with a chuckle. Not just number 6, even one like her when I see her. Upon finishing her sentence, old Mrs. Mo looked a little worried, just unsure whether Yang Yang has feelings for number 6. Just then, a rush of footsteps came from outside the door. Mrs. Mo. Mrs. Mo. What is it? Old Mrs. Mo turned her head to look at the maid. Speak slowly if something is wrong. The maid continued, we just received a call from the hospital. Miss Xianxia has now awoken. Old Mrs. Mo looked excited. Really? Indeed. The maid nodded. Old Mrs. Mo clutched Lin Pingping's hand tightly and laughed. Oh my, it's such a blessed day, all the good news came at once. Li Xianxian has woken up, and Lin Pingping was extremely happy too. Great auntie, let's go to the hospital and see Xianxian. Yes, old Mrs. Mo agreed. Let's bring Baichuan along and go together. Mo Baichuan, who was busy at the base camp, was called home by old Mrs. Mo with a phone call. Upon hearing the news that Li Xianxian had awakened, he was first taken aback. Then, inexplicably, his mind went to Ni Yang. Li Xianxian was Ni Yang's love rival, and knowing that Li Xianxian had woken up would certainly make Ni Yang very angry. So what if Ni Yang didn't save Li Xianxian? She's not the only doctor in the world. Originally, Mo Baichuan had refused to see Li Xianxian, but instead, thinking of Ni Yang, he decided to go. Though Li Xianxian had awoken, she was incredibly frail, her face was pale as a sheet, even her lips were white. Upon seeing Mo Baichuan, Li Xianxian felt a surge of joy, her heartbeat quickened. She knew that she must exist in Mo Baichuan's heart. Otherwise, an arrogant man like Mo Baichuan would never bend to visit a woman in the hospital. Xianxian, you're finally awake. Old Mrs. Mo held Li Xianxian's hand tightly. You have no idea how worried I've been these past few days. Li Xianxian burst into tears. I'm sorry, Grandma, I failed you. If it weren't for me, I wouldn't. I'm sorry, I'm truly sorry. Oh, you silly child, this is not your fault. It's our own doing that led to this. Old Mrs. Mo said gently, patting Li Xianxian's back. Xianxian, don't worry or blame yourself. Xiaodai is okay now. What? Li Xianxian went rigid, thinking she must have misheard. Mo Hudi is alive? Mo Hudi is actually alive. How could Mo Hudi be alive? Li Xianxian had put on an appearance of utter despair, so nobody noticed her abnormal reaction. Li Xianxian took a moment to compose herself before she managed to choke out, Grandma, is Xiaodai really okay? Please, don't try to comfort me by, old Mrs. Mo laughed. Silly child, why would I lie to you about such a thing? Not only is Xiaodai okay, she has been running around energetically, and can even start school next year. What the hell happened? Could she have made a mistake? Li Xianxian hugged old Mrs. Mo, crying, That's great, Xiaodai is safe, Xiaodai is safe, it's all right, it's all right. Wiping her tears, Li Xianxian continued, Grandma, who saved Xiaodai, please tell me, I need to thank them. Old Mrs. Mo laughed. Speaking of it, she's really a lucky star for our Mo family. Not only did she save Xiaodai, but she also helped Ping Ping and even saved me before. From old Mrs. Mo's expression, Li Xianxian could see how much she liked that lucky star. She liked her even more than she liked Li Xianxian. Old Mrs. Mo has never called her a lucky star. What on earth happened while she was in a coma? Chapter 222 Chapter Changing views on Ni Yen, Elder Mrs. Mo's birthday banquet. For a moment, countless thoughts rushed through Li Xianxian's mind. Just thinking that someone had taken her place during her unconscious state was unbearably upsetting for her. Just then, Lin Pingping entered the room through the door. Xianxian. Aunt Ping. Li Xianxian looked up at Lin Pingping, but was stunned the moment she looked at her. What was going on? How did Lin Pingping's face get better so suddenly? Aunt Ping. Li Xianxian covered her mouth in surprise. Your face is healed? Lin Pingping nodded with a smile. Yes, my face is healed. The old lady Mo chuckled. Pingping's face was also cured by that lucky star. Oh, our Mo family is so fortunate to have met him in this life. Him again? Li Xianxian contained her anger and tightly clutched the bed sheet beneath her. Regret filled her. She regretted not helping Lin Pingping sooner. She clearly had a way to cure acne too. Initially, Li Xianxian wanted Lin Pingping to suffer a bit more because only after Lin Pingping suffered enough would she feel more gratitude towards Li Xianxian when she extended a helping hand. She would be seen as a lifesaver. But Li Xianxian never expected that someone would swoop in and steal the credit that belonged to her while she was unconscious. Who exactly is that lucky star? Li Xianxian's gaze was filled with malevolence as she hung her head low. She absolutely wanted to kill this lucky star to vent her anger. After a moment, Li Xianxian looked up at Lin Pingping and smiled. Congratulations to Aunt Ping then. Lin Pingping smiled back. Thank you. Old Lady Mo turned to Mo Baichuan. Chuan, you go ask Dr. Wang if Xianxian can be discharged now. Mentioning Mo Baichuan, Li Xianxian's eyes softened. She had lost too much. No matter what, she couldn't afford to lose Mo Baichuan anymore. Mo Baichuan nodded and left the room. The ward was too stuffy. Especially seeing Li Xianxian's infatuated face, Mo Baichuan felt more annoyed. He didn't understand why all the girls had the same expression when they saw him. Except for one person who was different. Suddenly, an image of a beautiful face came to Mo Baichuan's mind, making his heart flutter. After Mo Baichuan left, old Lady Mo chuckled. Xianxian, I've never seen Chuan care this much about any girl before. You are the first. Li Xianxian playfully pouted. Grandma, don't tease me. Lin Pingping added, I also think that our Baichuan treats Xianxian differently. At her words, Li Xianxian's eyes gleamed with triumph. Mo Baichuan would never spare a glance at other girls outside, but now he was willing to see Dr. Wang personally for her. If this spreads out, she'll be the object of everyone's envy. Soon, the door of the ward was pushed open again. Li Xianxian looked up joyfully. Without surprise she saw Mo Baichuan's stern face. No matter when, Mo Baichuan always looked expressionless. Aloof. Li Xianxian just adored his cold and detached demeanor. Every time Li Xianxian saw Mo Baichuan like this, she lost control of herself. After all, which woman wouldn't love a man with power, wealth, beauty, and prestige? Li Xianxian gazed at him lovingly, her eyes brimming with adoration. Mo Baichuan frowned slightly. The moment his eyes grazed over Li Xianxian, they filled with a hint of disgust. Dr. Wang held Li Xianxian's medical records and said, My lady, Miss Li can be discharged from the hospital now, but she needs time to recover and must not be disturbed. Old Lady Mo nodded. All right. I understand. Chuan, did you hear what the doctor said? Old Lady Mo turned to Mo Baichuan. Mo Baichuan nodded. One heard. Old Lady Mo continued. Since you heard, then you will take Xianxian home. Remember what Dr. Wang said, she can't work during this period, and you need to help her take a leave from school as well. Mo Baichuan wanted to refuse, but thinking of Ni Yang, he swallowed his words of rejection. Ni Yang doesn't like Li Xianxian, doesn't he? So, he wanted to show an affinity for Li Xianxian. Let Ni Yang be jealous of Li Xianxian, jealousy makes people ugly. Then, Ni Yang will eventually reveal his feelings for him. Chapter 223 Changing Opinions About Ni Yang, Granny Mo's Birthday Banquet _2. Yes, exactly like that. Meanwhile, Li Xianxian expectantly looked at Mo Baichuan. She was wagering whether Mo Baichuan would agree with the old Mrs. Mo. If he did, it meant that he was indeed treating her differently. Sure, Granny. He agreed. Mo Baichuan had agreed to take her home. Li Xianxian's heart was beating so fast with excitement that she even forgot that there was another little angel in the Mo family. Mr. Mo, thank you, said Li Xianxian, looking at Mo Baichuan with shyness in her eyes. The expression on Mo Baichuan's face was somewhat indifferent. No problem. Old Mrs. Mo teased. Xianxian, you and Chuan have known each other for so long, why are you still calling him Mr. Mo? That's so formal. You should just call him Baichuan. Calling Mo Baichuan by his name? Li Xianxian was overjoyed, but she managed to control her emotions. She looked cautiously at Mo Baichuan. Can I? Sure. Mo Baichuan suppressed his distaste and nodded. He wanted to show Ni Yang how good and special he was to Li Xianxian. Otherwise, he couldn't provoke Ni Yang. Li Xianxian was so thrilled she didn't know what to say. She was probably the first girl in history who could call Mo Baichuan by his name. This felt absolutely glorious. Both older Mrs. Mo and Lin Pingping had smiles in their eyes. Although Mo Baichuan didn't do anything special for Li Xianxian, anyone could tell that he was treating her differently. Normally, would Mo Baichuan allow a young girl to call him by his name? Mo Baichuan had driven here. He saw old Mrs. Mo and Lin ping off to the car carrying Li Xianxian. Seeing Li Xianxian get into the co-driver's seat, Mo Baichuan's face immediately darkened. She was too presumptuous. Did she think he was blind to be interested in someone like her? Suppressing the anger in his heart, Mo Baichuan leaned into the car. "Granny, Aunt, you go back first. I'll take care of Xianxian." Xianxian? Did she hear it wrong? Mo Baichuan actually called her Xianxian. Li Xianxian's face took on a rosy hue immediately. Mo Baichuan had kept his emotions hidden deep. Clearly, he was very fond of her. Previously, he always pretended as if he was indifferent. His current transformation had to do with the near-death incident she just went through. Because he can no longer bear the fear of loss. Although Mo Hudi wasn't eliminated, this could still be considered a blessing in disguise. That Mo Baichuan realizes he likes her, indicating that her wrist wasn't cut for nothing. With this thought, Li Xianxian felt much better and a smile appeared on her face. The old Mrs. Mo cheerfully said, "All right, drive slowly on the road." "Sure." Mo Baichuan held his patience, waved goodbye to old Mrs. Mo, and then the car slowly disappeared from their sight as he stepped on the gas. Once the car windows were closed, a deathly silence fell inside the car. Mo Baichuan silently stared at the steering wheel. His grim expression could scare anyone to death. Li Xianxian glanced at him from the corner of her eye, wanting to say something but didn't dare to. Although she knew Mo Baichuan liked her, his temperament was rather eccentric. It would be better for her to avoid provoking him as he could easily turn a cold shoulder if slighted. Their relationship was still unstable. It was best to take things slowly, one step at a time. Shortly after, they arrived at their destination. After parking the car, Mo Baichuan had no intention of getting out. What was he planning to do? Stay in the car with her and make a conversation? After realizing this is what could be happening, Li Xianxian's face quickly turned crimson. Li Xianxian bit her lip, feeling inexplicably nervous as Mo Baichuan did not speak and she was too shy to say anything. A woman should always be reserved. Since Mo Baichuan liked her, he should be the one to initiate conversation. After what seemed like a long time, Mo Baichuan finally spoke. "Get out of the car." Although it was only 2 words, they were laced with coldness that startled Li Xianxian and she almost fell off her seat. "Get out of the car?" She turned her head in surprise to look at Mo Baichuan. Why was this happening? Why would Mo Baichuan ever ask her to get out of the car? Does Mo Baichuan have no other things to say to her? Baichuan. Mo Baichuan's face was expressionless, but his words were icy cold. "I told you to get out of the car." Chapter 224 Changing Views on Ni Yen, Elder Mrs. Mo's Birthday Banquet _3. Li Xianxian looked at him, a bit aggrieved. "Baichuan, did I do anything wrong that made you angry? I can change, can you stop being angry, okay?" Mo Baichuan's face was gloomy. "Get out of the car. Don't make me repeat a 3rd time." Li Xianxian knew Mo Baichuan all too well. She knew that this was a sign that Mo Baichuan was about to lose his temper. If she didn't get out of the car now, Mo Baichuan might even resort to physical force next. She'd better get out first. It was already really nice for her to be able to ride with Mo Baichuan today. After all, who in Beijing has ever sat in Mo Baichuan's passenger seat? Big shots always have a bit of a temper, don't they? Otherwise, how could they be called big shots? As long as she was in Mo Baichuan's heart, it was okay for her to tolerate a bit of his temper. After weighing the pros and cons, Li Xianxian got out of the car. She looked affectionately at Mo Baichuan. "Baichuan, I'll go now then. Please drive carefully on the road." Slam. Before Li Xianxian could finish her sentence, Mo Baichuan had already closed the car door. With a step on the accelerator, his car vanished from Li Xianxian's sight. As Li Xianxian watched the direction where the jeep disappeared, a faint smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. Mo Baichuan, to use a trendy term, was deeply introverted but passionate. Although he was obviously very fond of her, he always acted as if he didn't care at all. Didn't he know that tormenting his wife was pleasurable in the short term but chasing her to the crematorium in the end? Just wait and see, one day she would have Mo Baichuan completely under her thumb. After saying goodbye to the old lady of the Mo family, Lin Pingping went to a salon. When she came out of the salon again, her once beautiful long hair was now short and neat, and the gloomy aura that used to surround her was gone. She looked completely reborn. Lin Pingping went straight to Ni Yang's noodle restaurant. At the time, Ni Yang was making milk tea. Yang Yang. Hearing someone calling her, Ni Yang looked back, almost not recognizing Lin Pingping. Aunt Pingping. It's me. Lin Pingping walked over and hugged Ni Yang. Yang, thank you. You're welcome. Ni Yang hugged back Lin Pingping, then said, Aunt Pingping, please come and sit with me. The two came to the front hall and sat down by the window. Lin Pingping narrated to Ni Yang everything that happened after she returned to the Hong family. Hearing this, Ni Yang was amazed. Who could imagine that Lin Pingping, who looked so tender and weak, could be so brave and decisive? To have Hong been sentenced to life imprisonment was not something the average woman could do. Aunt Pingping, Ni Yang lifted her milk tea cup. Congratulations on getting out of the darkness of your former life. Thank you. Lin Pingping clinked cups with her. Setting down her cup, Lin Pingping then said, By the way, Yang, have one more thing to tell you. Go on. Lin Pingping excitedly said, The Mo Hudi you saved before is my cousin. The old Ms. Mo is my aunt, and Mo Chishan is my cousin. Hearing this, Ni Yang was surprised. Really? Absolutely. It's destiny. Yang, we were meant to meet each other. I believe that in the near future, our relationship will be more than just good friends. Who knows, if Mo Chishan wins Ni Yang over, they might even become family. Ni Yang didn't think that much. She just felt that destiny was indeed a wonderful thing. The two chatted for a while longer, and then Lin Pingping grabbed Ni Yang's hand. Yang, recently there have been a lot of people at our hospital wanting to buy your acne cream. Do you sell it? Ni Yang nodded. Yes, I not only sell the acne cream, but also the spot-removing cream. Recently, I even developed a skin whitening product. Lin Pingping was excited. Really? Ni Yang nodded. Yes, let me get you some samples. A moment later, Ni Yang brought over a small cardboard box containing face cleanser, aloe vera gel, acne cream, spot-removing cream, and a recently developed skin whitening and hydrating cream. As Lin Pingping had only used the acne cream before, Ni Yang took the time to introduce the effects of the other products one by one. Lin Pingping was born into a wealthy family and her girlfriends were also no ordinary people, so Ni Yang took special care to introduce the whitening moisturizing cream. Ni Yang had tried it herself, and the effect of this whitening moisturizing cream was excellent. Because the production process was a bit complicated, the price was also higher, 108 yuan per box. It was perfect for affluent people. In a skincare product line, there always needs to be an impressive luxury item to represent the brand. So, she had developed this whitening and moisturizing cream. Chapter 225 Changing Views on Ni Yen, Elder Mrs. Mo's Birthday Banquet _4. Take, for instance, the famous skincare brand La Mer, which is a subsidiary of Estée Lauder. Estée Lauder's prices are affordable for the average person, but La Mer could be a little out of their price range. Lin Pingping expressed her surprise. Does this skin whitening moisturizer really whiten skin? There isn't a woman who doesn't fancy fair and rosy skin. No matter whether they're white or yellow-skinned, all women hope their skin can become fairer, better. Ni Yang responded with a smile. You can see the results by trying the sample at home. Lin Pingping continued. All right, they'll get one set of this skincare product and 8 acne creams for my colleagues. Okay. Ni Yang packed a bag full of skincare products for Lin Pingping and added a pile of samples. Yang, how much do all these cost? Lin Pingping asked. Ni Yang answered with a smile. Cleanser is 15 yuan, aloe gel and acne cream are 20 yuan each, the skin whitening moisturizer is a little more expensive at 108 yuan. The total comes to 303 yuan, you can pay 300 yuan. Her mental arithmetic was pretty good. It would usually take a minute or two for a regular person to calculate these prices, but Yang gave the answer immediately, without thinking. Lin Pingping was secretly surprised. She pulled out 400 yuan from her pocket and gave them to Yang. Yang gave Lin Pingping change, but Lin Pingping refused, insisting she had already taken too much advantage of Yang. She had previously spent thousands of yuan trying to treat her face, let alone 400 yuan. Yang, I'll leave first, bye. Lin Pingping ran out the door and waved at Yang. Left with no choice, Yang had to abandon the idea of giving change and waved back at Lin Pingping. Once back, Lin Pingping washed her face eagerly with the cleanser and applied the skin whitening moisturizer. As though affected by some psychological factor, just after applying the moisturizer, Lin Pingping felt her skin becoming much brighter. But the actual result would only reveal itself over time. Lin Pingping followed Yang's instructions and patted her face in front of the mirror. Ring ring. A series of urgent alarm tones woke up the person still in a deep sleep. The person groggily turned off the alarm and was jolted upright when they saw the time on the clock. It was already 12:30. They had actually slept until 12:30. It was utterly terrifying. They quickly got up, dressed, brushed their teeth, washed their face, picked up their briefcase and rushed out the door. A passing subordinate greeted him. "Zhou, you look pretty good today." Only when Xiao Zhou arrived at the detective agency did he realize that had actually fallen asleep last night and had overslept this morning. For someone who had been suffering from insomnia for half a month, it felt better than winning a 5 million yuan lottery. Xiao Zhou, feeling refreshed, sat on the leather sofa and made himself a cup of tea. He decided to drink more sour jujube tea that night. He hadn't expected the sour jujube tea to have any effect, but after just one day, his sleep improved significantly. It turned out that Yang did have some skills. Problems that the doctors in big hospitals failed to solve were resolved by Yang with just a prescription of sour jujube tea. He would remember this favor in his heart. Yang didn't sleep well last night. She spent the entire night thinking about Li Xianxian, and then she had a dream. She dreamt of her past life, seeing a woman with a blurry face pushing her off the balcony of the 36th floor. She died on the spot. Yang couldn't forget the gruesome scene. Was it a dream, or was it reality? Moreover, she had a feeling that the woman who pushed her off the building was Li Xianxian. However, Yang still couldn't figure out why Li Xianxian would harm her. "Boss, you've made a mistake. One only wanted 2 bowls of noodles, you gave me an extra one." The customer's reminder brought Yang back from her thoughts. She smiled and returned the excess bowl of noodles. "I'm sorry, thank you for reminding me. I want a bowl of noodles over here." "Okay." Yang quickly served the spare bowl of noodles to the customer. "Here you go, that will be 3 cents. The man took out a 1 yuan note and handed it to Yang. Yang reached out to take it. "Thank you, here is your change." From beginning to end, Yang didn't give him an extra glance. She did her work, served the noodles, collected the money. She neither took the initiative to talk to him, nor tried to get close to him, just like the other customers in the restaurant. Chapter 226 Changing Views on Yen, Elder Mrs. Mo's Birthday Banquet under Survive. Song Beiqing watched as Yang turned her back to him, peering at her with a newfound seriousness in his eyes. Perhaps, from the beginning to the end, he entirely misjudged Yang. She truly didn't care about money. She genuinely didn't wish to associate with the rich and powerful. Yet, despite being only a teenager, she possessed a maturity that many adults lacked, as if weathered by countless storms. Song Beiqing touched his chin, and a glimmer of intrigue flashed in his eyes. With swift movements, he finished his noodles and left the place. For 3 days, Song Beiqing visited the noodle restaurant every morning. To get his noodles, he even had his assistant queue for him for a considerable amount of time. In those 3 days, they didn't exchange a single word, or even a glance. Only then did Song Beiqing realize that the girl genuinely had no interest in him. Yang. Song Beiqing couldn't resist calling out to Yang's back. "What is it?" Yang stopped in her tracks, directing her gaze towards Song Beiqing. Song Beiqing chuckled. I thought for sure you wouldn't pay me any attention. Yang raised an eyebrow in amusement and retorted, why would Boss Song think that? Song Beicheng continued, well, one just upset you a few days ago. So, I was hesitant to initiate a conversation with you, fearing you might still be angry. This man sure was amusing. When he stopped with his capitalist arrogance, he proved to an intriguing personality. Before Yang could respond, Song Beicheng carried on. Perhaps due to our different upbringing, money has always been of primordial importance to me. In my eyes, money equals omnipotence. It gives me high-quality living standards, private drivers, assistants, servants, bodyguards, but one overlooked respect. No amount of money can buy respect. Therefore, Yang, I apologize for my previous inappropriate actions. It was wrong of me to measure a person's worth with money. That was an insult to your dignity. Song Beicheng was smart and adaptable. Lai wouldn't impose his errors on Yang. If he was at fault, he was at fault. And so, he owed Yang an apology. Yang didn't expect Song Beicheng to say such words. She thought Song Beicheng was a thorough capitalist, but his realization of his faults was quite profound. Yang faintly smiled. So, in your eyes, I'm a petty person? Song Beicheng also laughed. Of course not. With those words, Song Beicheng continued, they say laughter eliminates all hatred, so Yang, can we turn over a new leaf and forget the past incidents? Without any hesitation, Yang reached out her hand towards Song Beicheng. I am Yang, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Song Beicheng courteously shook Yang's hand. By the way, don't call me Boss Song anymore, just call me Song Beicheng. After all, the point of a name is for people to use it. Okay. Yang nodded faintly. Song Beicheng continued, now that we are friends, may I first ask you a question? Sure. After a moment of thought, Song Beicheng said, but you must promise me not to get mad after I ask this question. Rest assured, Yang smiled, I am quite reasonable. The implication was that as long as Song Beicheng's question was within bounds, she would not take offense. With some hesitation, Song Beicheng asked, Yang, do you really not like money? This question had been bothering Song Beicheng for quite some time. Does anyone in this world truly not care for money? Although he was aware that Yang would certainly frown at his question, Song Beicheng was simply too curious about her answer. Unexpectedly, Yang not only did not get angry but also broke into a hearty chuckle. Like money? Of course, one do. If one didn't, why on earth would I open this noodle restaurant? Just like you said, money provides a superior lifestyle. Everything I am doing is for a better tomorrow. There are no people in this world who do not like money. Money is essential for survival. Without money, even the most basic needs can't be met, let alone prospering in life. Yang liked money, but she wasn't a gold digger. There was no point hiding what she genuinely liked. Then why did you reject? Yang continued for him, you mean, why did I reject your exorbitant invitation? Chapter 227 Changing Views on Yen, Elder Mrs. Mo's Birthday Banquet _6. Song Beicheng nodded. Yang said, I like money, but at the same time, I only like the money I earn myself. Your sky-high solicitation to me is no different from charity, so I choose to reject it. I prefer being down to earth rather than unexpectedly rich overnight. Song Beicheng was taken aback. He didn't expect such an answer from Yang. She had her own thoughts and was very frank. She was not like a typical girl. She was outstanding. After a moment, Song Beicheng continued to ask, what's the difference between windfall wealth and working hard to earn money? Just then, an old man walking his bird happened to pass by the shop. Yang pointed at the bird in the cage and then at the bird singing high in the camphor tree. It's about like the difference between these two. Song Beicheng was stunned again. Yang's voice came again. I'd rather be a poor bird in the sky than a golden canary in a cage. I'd rather be a poor bird in the sky than a golden canary in a cage. A simple phrase of 14 characters, yet it contained countless life wisdoms. If he hadn't heard it with his own ears, Song Beicheng would never have believed that these words came from the mouth of a young girl. Song Beicheng had been around for a long time, had seen too many people blinded by wealth, including young girls Yang age or even younger. These girls of tender years, willing to sell everything for a better life. Refused to be a golden canary? They were just afraid they wouldn't get the chance to be one. Because Song Beicheng had seen too many people like this, he initially thought Yang was one of them. He didn't expect to be wrong once. A helpless smile emerged in Song Beicheng's eyes. Yang, it's an honor to know you, Song Beicheng said to Yang earnestly. Yang laughed lightly. I'm flattered that I've managed to impress Boss Song. Song Beicheng chuckled. You're still calling me boss? Isn't this mocking me? It's just a slip of the tongue, Yang replied. I haven't gotten used to the change yet. Just then, the sound of Li Gongcheng urging came from outside the door. Master, it's time. Song Beicheng looked at his wristwatch. I have something else to attend to. I'll leave first. We can talk again when we both have leisure. Okay. Yang nodded. Song Beicheng pushed the door and left. Even as he sat in the back seat, a light smile still lingered on his face. Song Beicheng was genuinely happy today. He hadn't met a girl as straightforward as Yang in a long time. The feeling was akin to finding a soulmate. There was no gender difference involved. Communicating with Yang was a delightfully relaxed affair. She was nothing like other pretentious wealthy daughters. Instead, she exuded an unbridled spirit of freedom. This was something the females of this era lacked. Sitting back in the rear seat with his legs crossed, Song Beicheng's right index finger intermittently tapped on the car window. Seeing the contented face in the rearview mirror, Li Gongcheng was utterly impressed by Yang. Yang was truly amazing. Shed even managed to bring Master Song to submission. After resting at the base for a few days, Li Xianxia came to the Mo family to visit old Lady Mo and Mo Hudy. Xianxia, how do you feel now? Asked old Lady Mo with concern. Li Xianxia smiled. Granny, you don't have to worry, I'm feeling much better now. That's good, that's good. Old Lady Mo patted Li Xianxia's hand. After glancing around, Li Xianxia asked, Where's Xiaodai? Old Lady Mo replied, Xiaodai is upstairs. Li Xianxia said with a smile, Then I'll go see Xiaodai. I'll go with you. Old Lady Mo stood up and followed Li Xianxia's steps. Li Xianxia immediately supported Old Lady Mo's arm, and they headed upstairs. In the upstairs room, Mo Hudy was focused on writing something at her desk. She was so absorbed that she didn't notice Old Lady Mo and Li Xianxia's entry. Xiaodai, your sister Xianxia is here to see you, Old Lady Mo said with a smile. Mo Hudy looked up and offered a polite greeting. Hello, Sister Xianxia. Li Xianxia came over with a smile. Let your sister take a look. What is our Xiaodai writing? Mo Hudy quickly closed her notebook. Sister Xianxia, I'm writing a diary. Diaries are private and snooping into them is an intrusion. Li Xianxia gently patted Mo Hudy's head. Xiaodai, you're young and it's the time to play. When it comes to learning, you shouldn't put too much pressure on yourself. Just go with the flow. Chapter 228 Changing Views on Yen. Elder Mrs. Mo's birthday banquet 7 Madame Mo also laughed. Xiaodai, your sister Xianxia is right, you are at the age to play. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. It's fine to enjoy your writing, but remember not to exhaust yourself. Mo Hudy came over, hugged Madame Mo's neck coquettishly, and Grandma I know. Li Xianxia looked at Mo Hudy and narrowed her eyes imperceptibly. Since Mo Hudy didn't die, it seemed that some plans had to be set in motion ahead of time. The Mo family was of high status, and Mo Baichuan was an important figure. If she wanted to marry into the Mo family smoothly, she still lacked a dazzling identity. With such an identity, she could stand more firmly in the Mo family in the future. Li Xianxia smiled and came over. Xiaodai, would you like to go downstairs and play? Sure. Mo Hudy nodded. The three went downstairs together. Li Xianxia had brought a lot of things that little girls like to play with. So, Mo Hudy sat on the floor and started playing, even forgetting about lunch. At the dining table, Li Xianxia proactively served Madame Mo. Grandma, if I remember correctly, your 75th birthday is coming up in a few days, isn't it? Madame Imo laughed. It's commendable that you remember this old woman's birthday, Xianxian. Li Xianxian said, Grandma, your birthday is always on my mind. I know you're a filial child. Li Xianxian continued, Grandma, with all the good things happening in the family recently, we should definitely celebrate your birthday in a big way. Mo Fuhai, the eldest at the table, put down his chopsticks and agreed, Xianxian is right, we haven't had any celebrations at home lately. This would be a perfect occasion to invite the older siblings back, dispel some of the recent bad luck. Li Xianxian continued, it would be perfectly timed to invite over the little lucky star that Grandma often mentions. He has been such a help to the family, we should properly thank him. Li Xianxian had wanted to meet this little lucky star for a long time now. Unfortunately, she hadn't found the right opportunity. With this birthday banquet, not only could she display her abilities in front of the Mo family, but she could also meet the legendary little lucky star. She had to see if this little lucky star was as formidable as rumored. Of course, more importantly, she wanted to assess whether the little lucky star would pose a threat to her. Anyone daring to steal her credit would have to pay back the principal along with the interest. Madame Mo laughed and nodded. Excellent, Xianxian. You've truly hit the nail on the head. Fuhai, we should sincerely thank our little lucky star. Mo Fuhai said, let's leave this matter to Sixth. He can notify Yang Yang. Upon hearing about Mo Qishan, a look of disdain flashed in Li Xianxian's eyes. As the saying goes, birds of a feather flock together. If he associates with the trashy sixth son of the Mo family, then this little lucky star is definitely not to be feared. He probably fluked into saving Mo Hudi and into curing Lin Pingping's acne. Mother, father, are you speaking ill of me again? A straight figure walked in from the outside at just the right moment. Uncle Mo Sixth. Li Xianxian politely greeted. Although she thoroughly despised this waste, she had to maintain her facade. She couldn't let the Mo family elders harbor any dissatisfaction towards her. Mo Qishan nodded at Li Xianxian, then sat next to Madame Mo. Mo Fuhai explained to Mo Qishan about Madame Mo's birthday feast while laughing. Mo Qishan said, Dad, there's no need for you to worry about such matters when I'm here. I've already prepared the venue, you just need to enjoy yourself every day. Mo Qishan was always good at cheering people up, and he immediately brought a lot of joy to Madame Mo and Mo Fuhai. The two elders laughed and scolded him playfully as a naughty boy. Qishan, don't be hesitant to spend money on such matters. Take this passbook. Mo Fuhai ordered the servant to bring a passbook. Seeing this, Li Xianxian's scorn was evident in her eyes. Waste is waste. Even the money for his mother's birthday celebration needs to be begged from people. Such a son was really good for nothing. Unfortunately, Madame Mo and Mo Fuhai cherished Mo Qishan so much. Old age surely does make one's vision go hawkish. Mo Qishan handed the passbook back to Mo Fuhai. Dad, you don't need to worry about money. Your son is not waste. I can assure you that I will make Mom's birthday celebration grand. Considering his son's pride, Mo Fuhai could only put away the passbook. You promise me that you'll speak up if anything goes wrong. Mo Qishan nodded. Madame Mo added, Oh, Qishan, there's another thing that needs to be done. Mo Qishan said, No problem, Grandma. Whatever you command, even if it means climbing mountains of swords or diving into seas of flames, I will get it done. Madame Mo laughed heartily at Mo Qishan's joke. This child, always jesting. Once settled, she continued, it's about Yang Yang. No matter what, you have to get him to attend this birthday banquet. Mo Qishan immediately stood up and saluted in the style of a TV drama. Yes, madam. What a rascal. By the way, why didn't Xiaodai come to eat? Mo Qishan asked. Madame Mo replied, when Xianxian came earlier, she brought a bunch of new and interesting things for Xiaodai. She's in the living room setting up her new toys. Every child has a playful nature. Mo Qishan nodded and continued eating. After the meal, Mo Qishan went to find Ni Yang. Besides inviting him to the birthday banquet, he had to deliver some goods to him as well, a shipment of 10,000 disposable paper cups that Ni Yang had ordered through him. Wu Darning helped Imo tie the 10,000 disposable cups to the back seat of his bicycle. Brother 6, should I deliver these to sister-in-law by car? No need. Imo checked whether the cups were secured tightly. I'll deliver them by bike. Wu Darning was puzzled. Imo clearly had a luxury car at his disposal, but insisted on using this little broken bicycle. This didn't fit his image at all. Chapter 229 Chapter Stunning. _1 Imo quickly arrived at Ni Yang's noodle restaurant. When he got there, it was lunchtime and the restaurant was bustling with customers. Imo left his bicycle outside and went in. He naturally started to help Ni Yang with serving noodles and taking orders. They didn't exchange a word, yet their coordination was impeccable. Many regular customers had already recognized Imo. Xiaoma, you're helping at the restaurant again today? One Imo smiled and said, Yes, Antine, are you having your usual pickled vegetable noodles with a cup of milk tea today? Antine nodded happily. Exactly. Xiaoma, you'll have a bowl of noodles and a cup of milk tea too. All right. For a while, Mo's popularity was nearly on par with Ni Yang's. Xiaoma, a middle-aged woman wearing golden earrings said, Can Auntie ask you a question? Imo replied politely, Of course. The middle-aged woman continued, Xiaoma, have you settled down yet? Not yet. The middle-aged woman further inquired, Has your family introduced you to any potential partners yet? Imo replied, No. No. The middle-aged woman smiled. How about Auntie introduces you to someone? My niece is extraordinarily beautiful. In this era, where exorbitant dowries weren't customary yet, any good-looking chap, even if he came from a poor family, won't have to worry about finding a bride. Moreover, Imo was not only handsome but was also well-dressed and rode a bicycle. Among the common folks, he was quite a catch. Not just the middle-aged woman having her meal, many people had had their eyes on Imo, but they hadn't found the opportunity to voice their intentions. Upon hearing the middle-aged woman's question, the others in the restaurant silently pricked up their ears. Imo tactfully turned her down. Thank you for your kind intentions, Auntie, but I'm already in love with someone. He's in love with someone already? Disappointment flickered through the woman's eyes, but she didn't give up. Then, can you tell me the type of person you like? I know many pretty girls. Even if her niece wasn't suitable, she also had nieces from her in-laws, her own daughters. She believed that, sooner or later, she'd find someone that Imo would approve of. Imo rubbed his nose without directly replying to the woman. As he saw Ni Yang carrying a tray of noodles from the corner of his eye, he immediately ran over to take it from her. Yang, leave this to me. You go and take Auntie's order. His actions spoke for themselves. The middle-aged woman wasn't a fool. Seeing Imo behaving this way, how could she not understand what was going on? Ni Yang? Upon seeing Ni Yang, the woman deflated. No matter how beautiful her daughters, nieces, or nieces from her in-laws' side were, none could compare to Ni Yang's beauty. However, when she looked at them both, with Mo's handsome look and Ni Yang's beauty, they were rather fitting for each other. Seeing this, the others also dropped their ideas of introducing Imo to potential brides. After a hectic morning, it was time for lunch. As always, Ni Yang cooked 2 big pots of luxury version of pickled fish noodles. She combined 4 small tables in the restaurant into 1 big table and invited the construction workers from next door to join them. The luxury version of pickled fish noodles was filled with ingredients, fish, beef, and green vegetables. It was utterly satisfying with every bite. In the countryside, most men drank alcohol. So Ni Yang prepared 2 bottles of liquor and 3 side dishes to go along with it. As for those who didn't drink alcohol, they could have milk tea. Ni Yang brought the alcohol glasses. Brother Imo, are you drinking? Wang Lin walked in laughing. Yang, who are you kidding? How many men don't drink? Exactly, somebody chimed in from the crowd. How can you even call yourself a man if you can't drink? The rest joined in the banter. These men had already secretly conspired to get Imo, the city lad, drunk. This was like dealing with a new son-in-law in the countryside. In the countryside, when a girl got married, Her new husband's first visit to her parents' home was seen as a testing ground. The bride's relatives would invite the villagers who could hold their liquor well to join the meal and get the new son-in-law drunk. This was to show their support for the bride and ensure she wouldn't be bullied at her in-laws' house. This was their way of showing support for Yang and protecting her. Mo wasn't perturbed by their teasing. He helped to serve the noodles on the table, took out cigarettes from his pocket, and started distributing them to everyone. Chapter 230. Chapter Stunning. 2. I appreciate the respect from all you uncles, so I will accompany you in a few drinks. Everyone took the cigarettes and had a look. Goodness! Yellow Crane Tower cigarettes. At this time, Daoist cigarettes were priced 5 cents per pack, unaffordable to ordinary people, hence most people smoked rolled dry tobacco. This young man, on the other hand, handed out Yellow Crane Tower cigarettes. Yellow Crane Tower retailed for 20 yuan per pack. There are a total of 20 cigarettes in a pack, which means one Yellow Crane Tower cigarette can buy 2 packs of Daoist cigarettes. Oh my, what does this young man's family do for a living? How come he's so rich? Moreover, Mo Qixin gave out cigarettes round after round, took the initiative to light them for everyone, behaving properly like a junior. In a little while, everyone was all smiles. If the difference in seniority wasn't there, everyone would have wanted to become brothers with him. Yang quietly praised Mo Qixin in his heart. This man's social skills were really impressive. To start with, Yang was worried that someone as particular as Mo Qixin would mind that Wang Lin and the others had just come back from the construction site and were dirty, and hence not want to talk to them. After all, Mo Qixin was a scion of a wealthy family. But now, it seemed that this concern was completely unnecessary. Though Mo Qixin was born into a wealthy family, he didn't look down on anyone. He was polite to everyone, unlike some people who flaunted their wealth, stuck up their noses, hardly seeing anyone else. At the table, Mo Qixin toasted to Wang Lin and the others one by one. Intending to get Mo Qixin drunk, Wang Lin and the others only sipped a little while Mo Qixin drank fast during the toasting. After going around, Mo Qixin had already drunk a dozen, while Wang Lin and the others had only had half a glass. After drinking about 10 glasses, equaling to 5 or 6 liang of liquor, amazingly, Mo Qixin was neither flushed nor shaky, showing no signs of drunkenness. Seeing Mo Qixin not drunk, Wang Lin exchanged glances with the rest, stood up, and raised his glass. Xiaoma, you just toasted to us, now it's our turn to toast to you. Mo Qixin immediately stood up. Uncle Tini, you are my elder. It's against propriety for you to toast me. I should be the one standing. Please sit down. A satisfied expression emerged from the depths of Wang Lini's eyes. He took a seat. All right then, I want to insist I'll drink first. Mo Qixin also swallowed the wine in his glass. Another round, and Mo Qixin drank a dozen more, adding up to over a caddy, yet he showed no signs of drunkenness. After this round, Mo Qixin continued to offer cigarettes to everyone. Uncles, have a smoke. Seeing Mo Qixin being so well behaved and having such good tolerance for alcohol, and since they still had work in the afternoon, everyone didn't want to give him a hard time, cheerfully accepting the cigarettes. It won't be a man's drinking party without bragging. As a young bachelor, Mo Qixin couldn't participate in such topics. Therefore, he was busy pouring drinks, handing out cigarettes, lighting them, thoroughly filling the role of a junior. The doors of the restaurant were transparent, clearly displaying the inside from the outside when a black luxury car quickly passed by. 2 blonde-haired, blue-eyed people from the F country were seated in the car. The driver hit the brakes, tugged at his companion, and swallowed hard. Morris, look quickly, who's that inside? When Morris impatiently turned to see what was happening inside, the impatient expression on his face gradually turned to shock. My God! Marcus! I couldn't have gone blind. The whole demeanor of Marcus froze. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they would never believe what they were seeing. The two just kept staring at the scene inside the restaurant, stunned, so much so they barely moved for a while. Only after receiving a warning look did Marcus nervously step on the gas, driving the car away from the noodle restaurant. Mo Qixin slowly turned his gaze back, eating his noodles in a leisurely manner. Due to a good upbringing, his posture was especially elegant when eating. Even his every movement exuded an aristocratic ambience. The bragging at the table continued. Yang quietly handed a cup of water to Chishan. "Brother Emo, have some honey water, it helps with the alcohol." Chishan had drunk at least over a caddy of liquor. Despite appearing no different from someone sober, Yang was concerned about a delayed effect of the alcohol. Chapter 231 Chapter Stunning 3. Thank you. Chishan reached out and took the cup. His slender fingertips accidentally grazed the back of Yang's hand, feeling slightly cool. In this instance, Chishan suddenly thought of an exquisite ancient jade he had come across last summer while he was in F country. The sensation of touching this jade was similar. The honey water was sweet with a faint hint of lemon. A single sip managed to soothe the burning sensation in his heart. Taking advantage of the action of picking up food, Chishan whispers into Yang's ear, "Yang, I can hold my liquor very well. I'm not drunk at all, you don't have to worry." At this very moment, Yang turned her head, her fair cheeks brushing against his lips. It was like a shock. Such an unintentional move had successfully stunned the both of them. The boasting noises coming from the table seemed to have become a vacuum. Chishan picked up the cup again, nonchalantly took a sip of the honey water as if nothing had happened. His calm exterior remained, but the thin layer of sweat on his face betrayed his emotions. Just after putting down the cup, Chishan gulped down another mouthful of honey water. Yet, this time, he couldn't suppress the burning sensation in his heart. Stealing a quick glance at Yang, he found her casually chatting with Zhou Qingshang and Wang Jinfang on the side, acting as if nothing had happened. Damn. His composure was actually less than a young girl. Chishan picked up his cup again in frustration, only to find out that his honey water was all gone. Left with no choice, he put down his cup and continued with his meal. What Chishan didn't know was that Yang, who appeared stable as Mount Tai, was actually panicking inside. Including all her past and present lives combined, this was the first time she had such intimate contact with a man. It felt a little strange. Soon after, everyone finished their meals and Wang Tiniu led them to the nearby shop. Chishan stood up, pulled out a pack of cigarettes from his pocket, and handed them around. After everyone had left, Chishan finally had a chance to discuss important matters with Yang. He brought in the 10,000 disposable cups from outside the door. "Yang, these are the 10,000 cups you ordered. Can you check?" Yang laughed and replied, "No need to count, brother Emo, don't I trust you?" The two of them got along very naturally, completely forgetting the previous episode at dinner. Yang took out money from the counter to give to Chishan, and he didn't refuse. He deeply understood Yang's character. She would never accept charity. If he refused the money this time, Yang would definitely not ask for his help next time. Chishan took the money, then said, "Yeah, Yang, I have something else to tell you." Yang nodded her head. "Go ahead, brother Chishan said, "The 8th day of next month is my mother's birthday. She wants to invite you to her birthday celebration. I don't know if you can make it." Birthday celebration. Looking at the calendar, Xianxia should have woken up by then. Since it was the Mo family's birthday celebration, Xianxia would definitely be there. Moreover, Yang always treated Chishan as a friend. Chishan had helped her so much, so if he personally invited her, she had no reason to refuse. "Of course," Yang said with a smile, "since brother Mo has kindly invited, I'll definitely be there." "Really?" Chishan was overjoyed. Chishan looked out an invitation. "Here, this is the invitation." Yang took it with both hands. "Thank you." Chishan continued, "You've worked all morning, and you still have to work in the afternoon. You should take the opportunity to rest for a while." "I have to go." Yang nodded, and saw Chishan to the door. Just as Chishan set foot on his bicycle, as if he remembered something, he looked back at Yang. "Yang, I may not be in Beijing for the next few days. If anything happens, you can contact Wu Darning. Then I'll pick you up here on the morning of the 8th. "Okay." Yang waved at him. "Brother be careful on the road." We'll meet here on the morning of the 8th. After bidding goodbye to Enai Yang, Xianxia whistled as he pedaled his bike away. Had just turned a corner when he wobbled and almost fell off his bike. He stood at the side of the road, his right hand pinching his temple. His feet felt like they were stepping on cotton and he felt like he could faint at any time. There was a stark contrast between his demeanor now and just a moment ago. This hangover was pretty strong. After all, he had drunk more than a kilogram. How could he not be drunk? It's also thanks to Xianxia's strong endurance that he held on until now. If it were anyone else, they probably would have thrown up by now. Chapter 232 Chapter Stunning. For after a while, a black car slowly drove over, parking nearby. Two young men got out of the car. One helped Xianxia into the car, the other loaded the bicycle into the trunk. "Are you okay?" came a concerned voice from the driver's seat. "I'm fine." Xianxia, enduring a headache, continued, "First, take me back to the manor." "All right, please wait a moment." The driver glanced at the man's frosty face through the rearview mirror, couldn't help but wonder, was this really the same man who had been toasting and offering cigarettes to the group of construction workers at the small noodle restaurant only an hour ago? Was it really the same person? The companions in the passenger seat obviously thought about the same question. They exchanged a glance, both seeing doubt in each other's eyes. Lately, Lin Pingping's skin condition was getting better and better. At a class reunion, her classmates could barely recognize her. "My God! Pingping, your skin is incredible. So fair. I remember you weren't this fair before." Women in their 30s generally have the worst skin condition. Even the ladies of wealthy families cannot escape the traces of time. Among them, some had pigmented spots on their faces, some had yellowish skin, some had peeling skin. It's no wonder the term yellow-faced woman exists. Lin Pingping, sitting among them, naturally became the one who stood out in the crowd. One of the straightforward classmates said, "Something's not right, Ping. I saw you earlier this year, you had a face full of pimples. How did you suddenly become so pretty now?" Lin Pingping didn't mind. She smiled and said, "It might have something to do with the skincare products I've been using lately. You all know that my face had a big problem a year ago. It was only after using these skincare products that my face improved." Hearing this, everyone was shocked and asked, "What brand? You should recommend it to us. Quick, tell us, I want to go buy a set too." Lin Pingping continued, "It's called Icy Skin Jade Beauty, but you may not be able to find it in the market, because this skincare product was developed by a high-profile person. It's limited supply. Without connections, you can't get it at all." Lin Pingping spoke in a mysterious tone, further piquing everyone's curiosity. After all, Lin Pingping's current skin condition was really good. So good that it inspired envy. Icy Skin Jade Beauty, these 4 words, were really eye-catching. "Pingping, can you help us get a set?" "Pingping, we've been classmates for so many years, you won't refuse this favor, will you?" Lin Pingping laughed and said, "I can help you, but one of the products that can whiten the skin might be a bit expensive. I don't know if you can accept it." "Expensive? How much is it?" Lin Pingping continued, 108 yuan a box. Hearing this, everyone chuckled. "That's not bad, I thought it would be very expensive. It's only 108. In the eyes of these people from wealthy families, 108 yuan was nothing at all. It was equivalent to what they would spend on a casual clothing purchase. "Get me one for skin whitening." "I want one too." "Me too." Everyone was busy stuffing money into Lin Pingping's hands. Lin Pingping said, "Don't rush, merely applying whitening and moisturizing cream isn't useful. The effect is better when used in combination with facial cleanser and aloe vera gel. Besides, it not only whitens, but also controls acne, fades spots, moisturizes." Lin Pingping introduced Enai Yang's products one by one, speaking about them in a mysterious manner. At one point when someone questioned her, "Are these skincare products really that good? I've never heard of these brands before." "I haven't heard of them either. I heard that Lin Pingping is divorcing Hongbin lately. Could it be that she's out of money, so she's trying to cheat us?" Hearing these doubts, Lin Pingping wasn't angry. She just smiled and said, "I have some samples at home. After the reunion, why don't you come over to my place? I can give you some samples to try. If you like them, then you can buy more. We're all old classmates, I wouldn't want to get a reputation for cheating." With her saying that, those who had questioned her earlier shut their mouths, their faces flushed with embarrassment. When the reunion ended, over a dozen beauty-loving female classmates followed Lin Pingping home. Seeing that Lin Pingping was now living in the Mo family mansion, they all breathed a sigh of relief. Chapter 233 Chapter Stunning. 5. The Mo family is rich and wealthy with countless assets. They can afford as much money as they need. How could Lin Pingping possibly defraud people over such a small sum? Pingping, we know you wouldn't deceive us. You don't have to give us sample kits. Just order a set for us directly, erase the money. You can keep it. Lin Pingping handed out a bunch of sample kits to the crowd. Even so, I should give you some sample kits first. I don't have any ready-made skincare products at the moment. You can try using them first. After all, everyone's skin type is different. The skincare products that work for my skin may not have the same effects on your skin. The others thought that what Lin Pingping said made sense, so they did not insist, and each took some samples and left. On the morning of the third day, Lin Pingping was still in bed when a piercing phone ring woke her up. Lin Pingping picked up the telephone receiver with half-closed eyes. "Hello." A surprised voice came from the other end of the phone. "Hello. Pingping. Xiaoxia. I used the skincare samples you gave me a few days ago. They are really amazing. Would you be able to buy a few sets for me?" Upon hearing this, Lin Pingping suddenly became more alert. But as soon as she hung up, the urgent phone ringing sounded again. This time it was also a call to order skincare products. Lin Pingping received more than a dozen calls that morning alone. Therefore, Lin Pingping decided not to sleep anymore. She got up, brushed her teeth, washed her face, and then went to work. During her lunch break, Lin Pingping went to Ni Yang's noodle restaurant and told her about the orders for the skincare products. Ni Yang smiled and said, "For now, we have ample stock of facial cleanser and aloe vera gel, as well as 2 types of acne and freckle removal creams. But the whitening moisturizing cream is limited to 30 boxes per month and we only have 8 boxes left. For beauty, people are willing to pay any price." Under the promotion of Ni Chengui and Wang Meifeng, the high-end whitening moisturizing cream, priced at 108 yuan a box, sold 22 boxes in just a few days. Adhering to the principle of limited edition equals high value, Ni Yang planned not to produce too much at first. She planned to produce only 30 boxes per month to keep the consumers anticipating and maintain the product's high profile, before gradually increasing production. This is a kind of hunger marketing. Lin Pingping hurriedly said, "Yang, sell all the remaining 8 boxes of whitening moisturizing cream to me. Then I want 12 bottles of facial cleanser and aloe vera gel, and 13 bottles of each of the acne and freckle removal creams." To avoid missing out on any orders from her classmates, Lin Pingping even drafted a list. "Sure." Ni Yang nodded, "But I don't have any stock in hand right now. Should I bring them to you tomorrow morning?" "All right," Lin Pingping said, "I'll come and get them tomorrow morning. I want to pay you." Everything added up to a total of 46 bottles. The price of 8 boxes of whitening moisturizing cream is 864 yuan, while the remaining 38 bottles of facial cleanser and acne and freckle removal creams cost 940 yuan, totaling 1,804 yuan. Lin Pingping handed Ni Yang 1,900 yuan, and Ni Yang gave her back 200 yuan without saying much. Lin Pingping didn't think much of it. It was only after she left the restaurant that she realized that Ni Yang had given her 104 yuan extra. Lin Pingping promptly returned to the restaurant and gave Ni Yang the remaining money. Yang, you gave me too much change." Ni Yang smiled and said, "I didn't make a mistake. Auntie Ping, you gave me 2 yuan extra when you bought skincare products last time." About half a month ago, Lin Pingping came to buy skincare products. The total cost was 300 yuan, but Lin Pingping gave 400 yuan. Ni Yang chased after her, but Lin Pingping just ran off. Naturally, Ni Yang wouldn't accept the extra 2 yuan from Lin Pingping for no reason. The purpose of her starting the business was not to make money. If she accepted the extra 100 yuan from Lin Pingping, It would dilute the initial purpose of her business. Lin Pingping said, Yang, that was last time, this is this time. Yang gave a faint smile and spoke lightly, Auntie Ping, if you don't accept it, I might not dare to sell skincare products to you next time. With no choice, Lin Pingping had to accept the money, secretly deciding in her heart that she must help Yang promote the skincare products more in the future. The influence of a good product is really great. Because when a product is good, consumers will recommend it to each other. This forms a circle, and this circle will only grow bigger. As a result, the reputation of Crystal Clear will also grow. Chapter 234 Chapter Stunning. _6. Recently, Yang's income from selling skincare products alone had exceeded 6,000 yuan. Adding the revenue from the noodles and milk tea sales, and after deducting the cost of store renovation, her savings had now exceeded 20,000 yuan. The birthday banquet of the old Madame Mo was just around the corner, so Yang had been thinking about what gift to prepare for the old lady in the last few days. Mo family were indeed affluent, and items costing just a few or 100 yuan certainly wouldn't catch the old lady's attention, yet anything too expensive was out of Yang's reach. Therefore, although the birthday gift wouldn't need to be too costly, it was essential to show sincerity. She must strike out a new path for herself and grasp an opportunity. Thinking about it, Yang narrowed her eyes slightly, an idea forming in her mind. The morning of the 8th. Looking neat and tidy, Mo Qishan rode his precious bicycle to the noodle restaurant to pick up Yang. As he arrived, a jeep pulled up. The car window rolled down, revealing a handsome face. Uncle, are you here to pick up Yang? The one who came was none other than Mo Baichuan. Mo Qishan smiled faintly. That's right, do you have any advice, nephew? Mo Baichuan's eyes held countless scorn as he looked at Mo Qishan. Uncle, you can't seriously think that Yang is interested in you, can you? Mo Qishan said nothing. His nephew seemed to have too much time on his hands lately. Mo Baichuan continued, I told you that Yang has been close to you only because of me. She wants to get close to me. Otherwise, would Yang be interested in a loser like Mo Qishan? What a joke. Yet, Mo Qishan was a foolish romantic, really believing Yang would be interested in him. Sitting on his bicycle with his long legs touching the ground, Mo Qishan pointed at his head. Nephew, did you ever get that problem in your head checked? Both his older brother and sister-in-law were not fools. How could they give birth to a son as arrogant and unconventional as Mo Baichuan? Mo Qishan was now even suspecting that his nephew was adopted. Uncle, you don't believe me? Mo Baichuan suddenly turned serious. If you don't, let's make a bet. Then you will see what kind of person Yang really is. Mo Qishan's lips curled into a small smile. Mo Baichuan continued, let's bet on whose car Yang will ride in today. Mo Qishan laughed lightly. Is there a need to bet on that? Mo Baichuan frowned slightly. Uncle, don't you think you're too self-confident? Nephew, Mo Qishan looked at Mo Baichuan. I think you're ridiculous. Mo Baichuan didn't feel like arguing with Mo Qishan. Whether you're too confident or I'm ridiculous, you'll see the answer soon. Mo Qishan was still deceiving himself. Under today's circumstances, anyone could tell with their toes that Yang definitely wouldn't ride Mo Qishan's bicycle. After all, today was an important day for the Mo family, and all the attendees were important figures. How could a vain woman like Yang ride a small bicycle? Mo Qishan was really dumb. In a moment, a clear voice rang out in the air. Brother M. As Mo Qishan looked up, he saw Yang, dressed in a beige overcoat, walking out. Her jet black, shiny hair was evenly spread out behind her, and there was a rosy hair clip on her right ear. The rosy hair clip against her fair and transparent ears was like a red plum in the snow, extremely eye-catching. The beige overcoat, buttoned up to the ankles, outlined her fine figure and slender waist. It looked as if a strong wind could break her thin waist. Yang. Mo Qishan jumped off his bicycle and walked towards Yang, talking and laughing as if he didn't notice Mo Baichuan by the jeep. As Yang completely ignored him, Mo Baichuan's face darkened. Was she still playing hard to get? Miss Ni, Mo Baichuan walked straight up to Anai Yang, looking down at her. To repay you for saving my life in Dam Village, I personally came to invite you to my grandmother's birthday banquet today. Wasn't this what Anai Yang wanted? She had followed him all the way from Dam Village to Beijing, just to draw his attention with the life-saving grace. He would grant her wish today. He didn't believe that Anai Yang could still play coy when he had put it all out on the table. Chapter 235. Stunning. Under 7, Anai Yang gave him a velvet smile and retorted, "Did I save someone in Dam Village? It's clear that the only thing I saved in Dam Village was a dog with a penchant for biting people. Dear sir, don't behave like a dog. I've already made my intentions very clear. Have some self-awareness, would you?" True, Anai Yang had saved Mo Baichuan. But it felt just like saving a dog. If it was a dog, at least the dog would wag its tail at her. Unlike Mo Baichuan, who simply bit her back like a maniac, sticking to her like glue no matter how much she tried to shake him off. You! Mo Baichuan was suddenly filled with rage. He didn't expect Anai Yang to keep playing coy even after all he had done. Was this amusing to her? Didn't she realize she was playing her part way too well? As Mo Qishan was just about to voice his thoughts, he heard Anai Yang say, "Brother Mo, let's get going. We shouldn't waste our time on irrelevant people. If a dog bites you, would you bite it back?" These words quite unexpectedly chimed with Mo Qishan's own thinking. Nodding, he agreed, "Indeed, let's move." Mo Qishan maneuvered his bicycle, and Anai Yang took up her usual place on the back seat. "Yang, hold on tight, we're setting off." "Okay." Anai Yang smartly held onto Mo Qishan's waist with one hand and her belongings with the other. As the handsome lad and pretty girl rode under the morning sun, bathed in its warm golden light, it should have been a beautiful sight. But to Mo Baichuan, it was irritatingly dazzling. That was crossing the line. Anai Yang was overreacting. He had even stooped to the level of personally driving to pick her up, but she still chose to ride off with Mo Qishan on his bicycle. Mo Baichuan initially came to declare war to Mo Qishan. He wanted to let Mo Qishan know that Anai Yang was close to him only because of Mo Baichuan. Unexpectedly, he ended up getting slapped by Mo Qishan instead. Just wait, he swore that one day he would expose Anai Yang's true face. Mo Baichuan clenched his fists tight, his suppressed rage making the veins in his neck pop. He looked truly vicious. At that moment, he thought of another person. Li Xianxian. Since Anai Yang failed to appreciate his kindness and insisted on playing coy, he could try winning over Li Xianxian. With a car, he could reach home long before the slow-paced bicycle. As long as he fetched Li Xianxian home before Mo Qishan, making Anai Yang witness it all, she would undoubtedly lose her cool. Jealousy could make people bare their ugliest side. Squinting his eyes, Mo Baichuan got into his car. Soon after, his car could be spotted parked under the ladies' dormitory at the base. Being a formidable figure on the base, Mo Baichuan's car parked under the ladies' dormitory drew the attention of countless female onlookers. In their faces, Mo Baichuan found the recognition he sought. "Could you please go and fetch Li Xianxian from room 106 for me? Tell her I'm waiting for her downstairs." Mo Baichuan grabbed a random girl's hand and made the request. Of course. The girl's face turned a shade of shrimp red. When Li Xianxian found out that Mo Baichuan had come to fetch her himself, she felt as though she was dreaming. She never even dreamed that Mo Baichuan would come to fetch her one day. Now, she turned into the envy of all. Li Xianxian quickly donned a beautiful and stylish strapless dress and put on her crystal shoes before walking out. "Baichuan. Let's go." Mo Baichuan barely glanced at her before turning around to get back into the car. Excited, Li Xianxian got into the passenger seat. The air conditioning in the car was very strong, so Li Xianxian didn't feel cold. All the way, Li Xianxian was stealthily observing Mo Baichuan's expression. Since Mo Baichuan always maintained the same facial expression, Li Xianxian was unable to notice any abnormalities. The car was speeding up and soon caught up with the bicycle. Later, the speed of the car maintained an appropriate distance from the bicycle. About half an hour later, the car finally stopped in front of the Mo family's villa. "Don't get out of the car yet," Mo Baichuan spoke out coldly. Li Xianxian was taken aback. Mo Baichuan noticed that the bicycle was about to enter the villa. He then opened the car door and walked over to open the door for Li Xianxian. Exhibiting gentlemanly manners, he extended a hand towards Li Xianxian. Xianxian, we've arrived. Mo Baichuan's attitude was different from what it had been earlier. This was the first time he had taken the initiative to hold her hand. Li Xianxian was overjoyed, her heart as if about to jump out of her chest. Cautiously, she extended her hand, placing it on top of Mo Baichuan's hand. Her cheeks turned slightly red. Mo Baichuan hid well the disgust in his eyes and led Li Xianxian out of the car. At the right moment, Mo Qishan also arrived with Ni Yang. Without turning his head, Mo Baichuan led Li Xianxian into the hall. Ni Yang also noticed Li Xianxian immediately. It seemed her guess was correct. Li Xianxian did show up at the Mo family's house. The trip was not in vain. Looking at the backless silhouette of Li Xianxian, Ni Yang shivered uncontrollably. Is Li Xianxian not cold wearing such a dress during winter? Mo Qishan parked the bike and turned to look at Ni Yang. Yang, my brothers and sisters-in-law are all here today. Don't be nervous, just stay by my side. Ni Yang nodded. Okay. They entered the house. The hall was lively with people coming and going. The heating was very strong. Ni Yang couldn't stand the heat after walking only a few steps. Fortunately, she was wearing a plain cheongsam under her coat, so it was fine to take off the coat. After all, a proper dress is required for such banquets. And a cheongsam is also a type of formal attire. Ni Yang was unbuttoning her coat as they walked. She took off her coat and casually draped it over her arm. Mo Qishan extended his hand to take her coat. Yang, we have a lot of family members today, let me keep your coat for you. All right, Ni Yang nodded. Thank you, brother Mo Qishan smiled faintly. You're welcome. While Li Xianxian and Mo Baichuan were walking in front, Mo Hudi saw Li Xianxian and, contrary to her usual self, was overly warm. Her little face was smiling so brightly it almost bloomed. She opened her arms and ran over quickly. Sister Xianxian. At this time, the other guests in the room also looked in this direction, their eyes filled with admiration. Feeling everyone's gaze, Li Xianxian straightened her back. She had been preparing for quite a while for this day in order to stand out. This attire alone took 2 months to prepare. With a gentle and decent smile on her face, Li Xianxian half squatted down, opened her arms and welcomed Mo Hudi. Shout I. However, Mo Hudi ran straight past Li Xianxian and jumped into the arms of the person behind Li Xianxian, Sister Ni Yang. It was only then that Li Xianxian heard clearly what Mo Hudi said. She was calling for Sister Ni Yang, not Sister Xianxian. What happened? Moreover, it seemed that the gazes of the others were not focused on her, but were oriented towards someone behind her. Who is behind me? Chapter 236. The truth about plotting against Mo Hudi, tormenting Li Xianxian. Why were all eyes on her? A chill of foreboding tinged Li Xianxian's mind. Her complexion paled as she slowly turned her head to look behind her. There was a figure clad in a light-colored cheongsam, stepping languidly. Her glossy raven hair half swept up, and her clear, expressive peach blossom eyes were framed with long, thick lashes casting a shadow on her eyelids. Secured on her ear was a hair clip in the shape of a red plum blossom, contrasting with her fair ear tip. It was like a red plum blooming brilliantly amidst a blanket of white snow, utterly mesmerizing. The red hair clip perfectly complemented the button of her cheongsam, projecting the elegant radiance of a figure stepped out from a painting, with no room for criticism. The cheongsam was usually a demanding piece of attire. If not worn gracefully, it could look overly rigid and dreary. However, the person before them was donning the cheongsam in a way that exemplified its timeless elegance. Usually the cheongsam enhances the wearer, but in her case, she was the one enhancing the cheongsam. Who is she? Why did she seem so familiar? Li Xianxian squinted her eyes, momentarily unable to recall the identity of the figure. But the sense of impending danger was steadily growing stronger within her. Sister Ni Yang, I've been waiting for you for so long. Mo Hudi embraced Ni Yang, unwilling to let go. Sister Ni Yang, Upon hearing this long-lost address, Li Xianxian started to regain her composure. It was her. She had come back. She indeed had returned. Insolent woman. Hadn't she already married that castrated old man? Why had she returned? Li Xianxian's hand clenched tight, the sharpened nails digging into her flesh due to excessive force. She couldn't be defeated by this shameless woman. She must remain calm. She had to win over everyone. No one will take Mo Baichuan from her. Luckily, everyone's attention was focused on Ni Yang, so no one paid attention to her. Li Xianxian stood up gracefully, maintaining a polished smile on her face. Yang Yang is here. The old lady of the Mo family and Mo Fuhai warmly welcomed her. They introduced Ni Yang to the rest of the family. My first 4 sons, let me introduce you to Ni Yang, the divine doctor who healed Xiaodai. Yang Yang is the lucky star of our Mo family. Not only did she heal Xiaodai, but she also saved Ping Ping. I rely exclusively on the breakfast she prepares whenever my appetite dwindles. Not everyone could bear being addressed as the lucky star by the matriarch of the Mo family. Upon hearing her words, everyone's gaze shifted towards Ni Yang. Li Xianxian's mind was thrown into chaos. She had considered many possibilities, but she had never anticipated that Ni Yang would be the lucky star, revered by the old matriarch. Why was it Ni Yang? What had transpired during the period when she was unconscious? Miss Ni, Mo Rongping, the eldest son of the Mo family. I am Mo Rangon, the second son. Mo Rongzhong, the 4th son. I am Mo Ronghua, the 5th son. The matriarch of the Mo family got married when she was 18 years old. The eldest son, Mo Rongping, was 56 years old, and even the youngest, the 5th son, was 49. Only their youngest brother, Mo Qishan, was quite young. He was only a year older than his eldest grandson, Mo Baichuan, and was now 27. In fact, it was also apparent from the names themselves that Mo Qishan was an unexpected child. While the names of the first 4 sons represented peace, prosperity, and patriotism, his name signified uniqueness and profoundness. Before these people, Ni Yang was merely a 17-year-old child. Yet, she exuded a composed, polite demeanor. The old lady pointed to her sons and said, Yang, just call them eldest brother, second brother, 4th brother, and 5th brother. Eldest brother, second brother, 4th brother, 5th brother? What was the matriarch trying to imply? Li Xianxian almost bit through her lip. She'd been meticulously planning for 2 whole years before she earned the trust of the matriarch and patriarch of the Mo family. Had Ni Yang only known them for a few days? How could they trust Ni Yang so easily? This was unfair. This was unfair to her. Why was this insolent woman always after what she desired? It was the same in her previous life. And it was the same in this life. Li Xianxian's lowered eyes were filled with venomous indignation. Mo Baichuan also found the matriarch's behavior rather befuddling. If Ni Yang was to address his uncles as brothers, wouldn't she become his senior? How could that make sense? Ni Yang was initially worried about how to address them. After all, she addressed Mo Qishan as Brother Mo. It would be strange for her to call his elder brothers as uncles. On the other hand, addressing them as brothers would accentuate their age difference. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.